Chapter 86. People are evil, but my sword is even more ruthless. As soon as Zhou Dowling said this, those who were originally feeling indignant for the Yao family immediately began to weigh their options. Lin Yan noticed this scene, and his heart stirred. This was a good opportunity to teach the innocent and kind little medical immortal a lesson. Lin Yan had known for a long time that among all the people in this world, there were none worse than humans, especially these hypocritical immortal Tao cultivators. All day long, they spoke of great righteousness for the world, but when it came to truly risking their lives, each one ran faster than a rabbit. Not to mention the outsiders. Didn't the Yao family members themselves want to run or surrender? If he hadn't suppressed them forcefully before, the Yao family might have split apart again by now. Moreover, even if they wanted to surrender, would others be willing to accept them? This seat gives you a chance. If you change your allegiance now, I can let bygones be bygones. This seat is only targeting the Yao family members, and it has nothing to do with you outsiders. Zhou Dowling's move was undoubtedly a psychological attack, designed to push the Yao family to its limit. Moreover, he also wanted to stand on the moral high ground. The great sects of the immortal Tao were most skilled at such tactics. Even the Silver Moon Yao King on the Yao race side couldn't stand it. These despicable human race cultivators are truly cunning and shameless. I even thought he was someone noteworthy before. How embarrassing for this young Mississippi. Silver Moon also understood now. No wonder that old thing didn't kill her before. It turned out he wanted her to serve his Zhou family. Grandpa, what should we do? Yao Shishir was a little anxious. Just watch. Don't you believe in the man you chose? Old Master Yao wasn't going to say more. Since his days were numbered, he had to trust the choices of a younger generation. But Yao Shishir bit her lip. Although she was innocent, she wasn't foolish. She knew that if things continued like this, they would definitely be divided. I'll only give you 10 breaths of time. Seeing some commotion in Medicine King City, Zhou Dowling issued his final ultimatum. Only 5 breaths left. Everyone looked at each other. Under the immense pressure of death threats and the temptation of sharing the Yao family's treasures, many cultivators and family retainers finally chose to betray the Yao family. Watching this scene, millions of onlookers showed some disdain in their eyes. However, many cultivators also believed this was a wise choice. Good. Only the wise adapt to the circumstances. Seeing that at least tens of thousands, nearly half, had directly defected to the enemy, Yao Shishir was on the verge of tears. She bit her lip, looking at young Master Yun's back. She felt a little wronged. Why were they so bad? The Yao family had clearly not treated them poorly. They were always well-fed and well-cared for, and medicinal pills and spirit stones are distributed on time and in full each month. Now, they actually betray the Yao family directly. Bah, I'm ashamed to be associated with you. Guard Captain Wang Li was also furious. Heavenly Tao has eyes. You will receive retribution. May you all die a terrible death. Many conscientious cultivators began to curse. In fact, they were also afraid in their hearts, but they couldn't get past this mental hurdle. They could only resort to this method to relieve pressure and firm up their inner choice. See? This is what the people desire. As the saying goes, those who possess the Tao gain much help, while those who lose the Tao gain little. Your Yao family's destiny is exhausted. Zhou Dowling was smug. His goal had been achieved. Thus, no one could fault him anymore. After all, this was the will of the people. Lin Yun, however, ignored his petty triumph. In his heart, this person was already dead. He turned to look at little medical immortal. See, this is the human heart. The world is bustling, all for profit. Lin Yun said indifferently. Yao Shishir bit her lip and nodded slightly. However, we cultivators, as long as we have a clear conscience, can attain the great Tao and cultivate for longevity. Since you have already made your choice, then don't blame me for being merciless. I hope you can be upright people in your next life. Lin Yun's goal had also been achieved. Although the human heart was treacherous, his blade was even more merciless. Since these people were courting death, he couldn't be blamed for going on a killing spree. You ignorant junior. I like to see how you'll be unmerciful. All disciples, heed my command, flatten Medicine King City. Zhou Dowling waved his hand. Once the arrow is shot, there's no turning back. Since the other party is unwilling to give, this seat will take it himself. Tens of thousands of cultivators on the Medicine King City side showed a look of readiness to die, preparing to fight to the death against the enemy. Even old Master Yao became nervous. Yao Shishir clutched her sleeves tightly, biting her lip until it bled. Although she deeply trusted young Master Yun, how could she feel at ease in such a desperate situation? But dying together would also be fine, considering them star-crossed lovers. Bai Yao and Qin Qiu held hands, standing beside Yao Shishir, not retreating a single step. The great battle was on the verge of breaking out, or rather, in the next second, countless cultivators would clash. Everyone was on tenterhooks, afraid of missing a single moment. Even the Azure Jade sect hadn't expected a real fight to break out, but the advantage was so obvious. It was just a crushing victory, so there wasn't much fear. Moreover, their hearts were somewhat excited, as if they had already seen the countless treasures and medicinal pills in the Yao family's treasury. As the spiritual qi between heaven and earth began to riot, everyone secretly circulated their cultivation. The magic swords emitted sharp sword light. Lin Yun's eyes were downcast. A powerful aura suddenly covered an area of 10,000 li. He no longer concealed his cultivation. This aura was so powerful, and it came so suddenly. So much so that the millions of cultivators present didn't even react. This aura, who is this? Everyone's hearts pounded wildly, and their legs trembled slightly. It was as if a beheading knife was at their necks. Cold sweat immediately broke out. It's him, the Yao family's son-in-law. This aura, this is an old ancestor of the Ascension realm. Some cultivators with profound cultivation were instantly scared out of their wits. Then they fled desperately. This demonic young man was actually an Ascension realm old ancestor. Terrifying. Zhou Dowling was also somewhat dumbfounded. No, can you still play like this? This old man has been in seclusion for 1,000 years, finally came out to do something big and then retire. How did I run into an Ascension realm old ancestor? Didn't the world no longer have Ascension realm old ancestors? Where did he come from? The Yao family side was even more shocked, followed by ecstasy. Young Master Yun was actually an Ascension realm old ancestor. The Yao family was saved, and those traitors, their faces instantly turned ashen white. They looked as if they had lost their parents, even worse than if their own father had died. They were doomed. There was absolutely no way out. It was well known that traitors were the most detested and unforgivable. A group of great Yao hidden in the Void Realm were also stunned. Su Yao's enchanting peach blossom eyes suddenly sparkled with brilliance. So that's it. I knew it. My Su Yao's judgment would never be wrong. He was indeed a towering man, but his cultivation seemed a bit too high. Would he listen to her? What to do? Recalling the naked possessiveness in his gaze when he looked at her, Su Yao seemed to have thought of something. Her face couldn't help but blush. Chapter 87, I won't pretend anymore. I'm the big boss in the Ascension realm. Lin Yun no longer concealed his cultivation. In an instant, he became the focus of the entire scene. Some quick-witted onlookers had already started to flee. Jin Huangtian also had a ghost-like expression. This damned human race cultivator was actually an Ascension realm expert. What to do? He might not be his opponent. He turned his head to look at Su Yao. Seeing her face like a peach blossom, Jin Huangtian's eyes were filled with ruthlessness and venom. This damned woman wouldn't have fallen for him, would she? Jin Huangtian suppressed the jealousy in his heart. No, saving his life was more important. He hadn't had a direct conflict with him yet. The other party wouldn't do anything to him. Taking a deep breath, Jin Huangtian suppressed the jealousy and hatred in his heart. If things couldn't be done, then he could only pretend to be a grandson. Fortunately, there was no direct conflict. Otherwise, he would have to prepare to flee as well. Inyu's face was even redder, and her delicate body trembled slightly. She hadn't expected that the frivolous human race cultivator who liked to take advantage of others would actually be the strongest existence in this world. And she had actually tried to attack him before. This was like walking through the gates of hell and back. Recalling the restriction he had left in her body, Inyu's beautiful eyes were filled with fear. She was finished. No one in this world could save her anymore. However, he seemed to have some interest in her. She wondered if he would let her go if she begged. Inyu was originally bold and wild, and her thoughts immediately changed. Her gaze towards Lin Yun instantly became different. However, after noticing that Demon Empress sister Tianxiang also seemed somewhat moved, her heart immediately wavered, and Yao Shirshir's inner shock was also indescribable. The young man she picked up by the roadside was actually the strongest man in this world. No wonder he kept telling her to relax. Young Master Yun is so bad. He didn't tell her earlier, making her worry for nothing. Little medical immortal's gaze towards Lin Yun was filled with affection, worship, and adoration. Bai Yao and Qin Qiu's pretty faces were also flushed. Young Master Yun, he was actually so powerful. Recalling young Master Yun's affection for them, both girls trembled all over. Old Master Yao finally relaxed. The Yao family was about to rise. His eyes were filled with gratification. His little granddaughter was indeed the lucky star of the Yao family. He just didn't know if his little granddaughter could hold on to such a man. Old Master Yao glanced at his little granddaughter and the two girls behind her again. If that was the case, she should be able to occupy a place in his heart. He had also figured out, although this son-in-law's personality was a bit elusive, he seemed to be both righteous and evil, but he still acted with principles and a bottom line, so he could rest in peace. seeing the myriad ugly faces of all beings. Lin Yun's lips curled slightly. I'm not pretending anymore. I'm an ascension old ancestor. What's wrong? Weren't you very arrogant just now? And now, 9 heavens responding to origin, thunder, sound, universal, transformation, heavenly, venerable. Lin Yun's low murmur seemed to echo in everyone's ears. This was a secret divine ability from the 9 heavens thunder division orthodox law. It seemed to be an honorific title. It was also the strongest large-scale thunder Dao Lin Yun currently controlled, enough to cover hundreds of thousands of people. As for life or death, that depended on individual destiny. But those who were specially targeted by Lin Yun were definitely dead. As Lin Yun's voice fell, the atmosphere between this heaven and earth seemed to change instantly. A powerful and glorious heavenly might suddenly appeared in everyone's hearts. Everyone subconsciously looked up at the sky. Nima, is this a heavenly tribulation? Is this still a human? He can actually summon a heavenly tribulation. Countless dark clouds seemed to appear out of thin air. Innumerable lightning bolts seemed to fill the entire field of vision in an instant. As the first clap of thunder echoed between heaven and earth, old Devil Lin's wrath of the thunder god began its baptism of the earth. Spare us, your excellency. We know our mistake. Please, old ancestor, spare us for serving the Yao family for 1,000 years. Many traitors directly gave up resisting and knelt on the ground. They knew they couldn't resist. There was no way out. Lin Yun watched all this with cold eyes. Not only did he not show mercy, instead he directly raised his hand. A huge handprint condensed out of thin air and directly slapped down. In an instant, thousands of people were directly turned into minced meat. Blood slowly seeped out from the ground. If only they had known, they would have regretted it then. Under his hand, there were no innocent deaths. They were all people who deserved to die. Such a brutal scene shocked everyone. And a large-scale thunderous wrath made the entire scene a chaotic mess. The soaring thunder dragons were like the divine punishment of the heavenly Tao, wandering among the crowds. Each impact caused thousands of cultivators to fall. Bodies fell like rain. Many more were directly turned into ashes, not even leaving a complete corpse. Innumerable disciples of the Azure Jade sect cried out in despair. How could they, with their physical body strength, contend with the thunder, Tao, divine ability of an ascension realm mighty figure? At most, they could only last for a dozen breaths, and then unwillingly turned into charcoal. Some elders and personal disciples with profound cultivation. Lin Yun's gaze swept over them, and they would immediately be annihilated by an invisible power of space, turning into uniform minced meat, their divine souls torn apart along with them. Zhou Daoling, however, became silent. Looking at this human hell, he knew that the general trend was over. As the leader with the highest cultivation present, he could even more comprehend the other party's power and invincible realm. In his opinion, this unfamiliar ascension realm old ancestor was like a cat playing with a mouse at this moment. He hadn't even displayed his true strength. His target also included himself, because he had already felt the faint lock on his body. Everyone here had at least a 1,000th chance of survival, but only he had no chance of survival at all. The Grand Elder of the Azure Jade sect, old ancestor of the Zhou family, Zhou Daoling, closed his eyes in despair. Immediately, the aura on his body became extremely dangerous. Lin Yun frowned slightly. He had been firmly locked onto this old thing. He hadn't expected him to self-destruct. That's good. It saved him the effort. Dealing with the peak void realm still required some means. Yao Huisheng, your Yao family is so lucky. But I'm not convinced. If there's a next life, let's be opponents again in the next life. Zhou Daoling looked at old clan head Yao and Yao Shishir who were hiding in the back. Old Master Yao remained silent. The Yao family was indeed lucky, but was this not also the heavenly Tao's compensation for the Yao family's good deeds and accumulation of virtue? His little granddaughter had also told him about the origin of this son-in-law. This was the reward for her kindness. Only a sky-shattering explosion was heard. An old ancestor at the peak void realm was actually forced to self-destruct. This was the first time in 10,000 years in the Tianqin realm. Zhou Daoling's self-destruction indiscriminately took away tens of thousands of cultivators. Countless blood rains fell. This world seemed to have become a true hell. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Innumerable screams and painful wails echoed between heaven and earth. Watching this scene, Yao Shishir's eyes reddened, feeling somewhat unbearable. But she glanced at young Master Yun, who occasionally slapped a large area of people to death, and swallowed her words of persuasion back. Compared to the wails of all beings, she was more afraid of making young Master Yun unhappy, and didn't want young Master Yun to think she was soft-hearted and useless. What young Master Yun had said just now was undoubtedly teaching her. These people all deserve to die. Yao Sure turned her head away, unable to bear to watch. Lin Yun's lips suddenly curved into a cold smile at this moment. This old thing, I knew he wouldn't be so kind as to save me effort. It turns out he wanted to fish in troubled waters and then escape with his spiritual fetus divine soul. Cultivating to his current realm, even if he were to possess another, he could quickly return to his peak, or directly seal his memories and reincarnate. Next life, another genius will be born. But don't forget, Thunder Dao is the greatest bane of all ghosts, evil spirits, and even souls. As Lin Yun's thought moved, 1,000 miles away, Zhou Dowling looked at the battlefield with a relieved expression. Old ginger is spicier after you ascend. Let's see how I deal with the Yao family you protect. I want your little wife to become my plaything and cauldron. Zhou Dowling's face was full of venom. It would take at least 1,000 years to cultivate back to his former strength, and he would have to expend countless heaven and earth treasure. Die trash. Lin Yun's somewhat cold voice suddenly sounded in his ear. Zhou Dowling's divine soul was horrified. 100-Zhang Thunder Dragon directly rushed over. This entire small mountain was directly flattened. And that wasn't enough. Countless lightning and thunder again cleansed the area. Not a single wisp of residual soul fragment was left. Zhou Dowling, an old ancestor of his generation, completely died, his soul flying away and spirit scattering. Who knows how long passed? Perhaps it was less than half an hour. Outside Medicine King City, it was already a human hell. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood were insufficient to describe it. Innumerable grievances and death chi were purified on the spot by the power of thunder before they could even form. Many cultivators directly had their soul flying away and spirit scattering. It was truly horrific. Everyone in the Yao family watched this scene dumbfounded. They didn't need to do anything at all. All the traitors, not a single one left, were all indiscriminately killed by Lin Yun's large-scale attack. Leaving such people behind would cause endless trouble. Of course, Lin Yun wouldn't leave a mess for little medical immortal. On the Azure Jade sect side, more than half were killed or injured. At least 300,000 disciples died, their soul flying away and spirit scattering. Those who survived were not necessarily strong, but lucky enough not to be specifically targeted. Of course, Lin Yun also didn't kill them all. Lin Yun leaving these people was naturally not because he was soft-hearted or powerless. If he didn't let these people with shattered Dao hearts live, who would spread his prestige next? These people were already terrified, and there were no particularly outstanding talents among them. Without threat, he might as well leave them. It could also be considered an explanation to the heavenly Dao origin will of this world, doing things with a limit, not killing them all. After all, he still needed to borrow this precious place to ascend. Moreover, they were more valuable alive than dead. Next, with this group of people returning, the Azure Jade sect would probably be even more chaotic. Seeing the surviving remnants kneeling on the ground, trembling, Old Devil Lin paid them no mind. He stood atop the countless mountains of corpses and seas of blood, unstained by a single drop of blood. With a wave of his hand, heaven and earth collapsed, and cries of sorrow filled the wilderness. But the matter was not over. Lin Yun's gaze looked into the depths of the Void Realm. His sharp gaze directly pierced through to a group of great Yao race members hidden within, and that enchanting and peerless woman in a pink skirt. Guest of the Yao race, you've been watching for so long. Have you gained anything? Do you want this lord to personally invite you out? Lin Yun's voice once again shocked the survivors present. What? The Yao race from the 10,000 Demon Mountain range had actually come too. Could it be that they also want to take this opportunity to cause chaos for our human race? Chapter 88, I just went too far, so what? The moment Lin Yun spoke, everyone's hearts tightened. Even with countless dead and wounded, and the scene as tragic as hell, it still paled in comparison to an attack by the Yao race. After all, those who are not of our race must have different intentions. No matter how much we fight or kill among ourselves, there's always a sliver of leeway. But a beast tide from the Yao race truly devours people alive. However, it was rumored that the 3 Yao emperors had signed a non-aggression and friendly pact with the human race's powerful cultivators. So how could they suddenly appear in human race territory? Many cultivators' minds conjured a name, Tianxiang Yao Emperor. But fortunately, they had an invincible presence here, so no one was particularly terrified. More than anything, they were curious. Stared at directly and unreservedly by Lin Yun, the group of great Yao felt their hearts tremble. This one was a truly formidable individual. He was actually a human race powerhouse of the Ascension realm. Before she appeared, a charming voice drifted out. Fellow Taoist, please don't take offense. This humble one greets you. Under everyone's gaze, the group of great Yao suddenly revealed themselves. There were actually more than 20 Yao kings. Someone counted and couldn't help but be shocked. This was probably more than half of the Yao Kings from the 10,000 Demon Mountain range who had come. And that woman immediately captured everyone's attention. She was so beautiful. This thought arose in everyone's minds. The beauty of Tianxiang Yao Emperor was hard to describe in words, because it was actually a kind of concept. It was the innate racial talent of the fox race. And as a nine-tailed celestial fox, this bloodline talent was naturally brought to its extreme. Simply put, it was like a succubus. The charm she exuded invisibly was enough to make people willingly become her loyal subjects. Lin Yun looked at Su Yao. For a moment, he was also struck by her otherworldly beauty. If there was anyone who could surpass this woman in feminine charm, in Lin Yun's heart, it would only be the Empress Ancestral Master. This was an invisible aura and attraction, unrelated to appearance. It was a temperament derived from her cultivation realm and personal character. What a truly captivating beauty, a harbinger of trouble. For a moment, Lin Yun was surprised and captivated, then instantly regained his clarity. Come down and speak with me. Lin Yun looked at Su Yao, completely ignoring the Yao Kings around her, and even the golden-haired youth whose cultivation seemed quite good. Su Yao's heart was somewhat shaken. He actually became immune to her charming power in an instant. What a powerful divine soul and mind this was. One must know that she had just specifically launched a soul skill at Lin Yun. According to her thoughts, this person would at least have a greatly increased favorable impression of her, and then treat her with courtesy. She didn't expect him to be completely unaffected by it, and he didn't play by the rules. His first words were a show of dominance. But combined with the mountain of corpses, sea of blood, and countless wronged souls beneath him, his words and actions were full of persuasion. Even their group of great Yao was now extremely wary. The group of great Yao slowly descended to a height parallel with Lin Yun. This humble one, Tianxiang Yao Emperor from the 10,000 Demon Mountain range, greets immortal venerable sir. We have no intention of offending, we just happen to be passing by. Su Yao looked at Lin Yun. As the distance between them grew shorter, her heart beat faster, because she felt that this man seemed to hold a great attraction for her. It was as if every inch of her skin yearned for his touch. What was going on? Su Yao became a little flustered. This didn't quite match her expectations. She now felt as if she had met her nemesis. Why did the other party have such a strong attraction to her? Even as if he had dominion over her. This made Su Yao feel a little scared. After cultivating for so many years, she didn't want to actually be captured and become someone's pet. But the man in front of her was so powerful that even she was not his match and found it difficult to resist. Happened to be passing by? Who would believe that? What are your true intentions? Lin Yun hadn't spoken yet when Yao Shishir ran over. There seemed to be some hostility in her eyes, because she felt that young Master Yin seemed to have looked at this foxy woman several times. But she also had to admit that this Tianxiang Yao Emperor was indeed as magnificent and incomparably charming as the legend said. Her figure seemed quite a bit more sensual than her own. Little medical immortal was more of the petite and delicate type, but Su Yao was completely the sensual older sister type. Even her height was quite a bit taller. Su Yao looked at this little tigress-like current clan chief of the Yao family. She didn't want to offend this young lady either. Not to mention that she was this man's publicly acknowledged woman. The Yao family was also a key cooperative partner for their Yao race. After all, their Yao race couldn't perform alchemy, but their demand for medicinal pills was still very great. Thinking of this, Tianxiang Yao Emperor's heart stirred. Why not take this opportunity to officially form an alliance with the Yao family? The Yao family was currently in a state of rebuilding after devastation. She could be considered a helping hand in their time of need. Su Yao didn't know that her action played right into old Devil Lin's hands. What he was most worried about now was little medical immortal. What if she was bullied after he ascended? After all, the Yao family was rich and powerful, and everyone understood the principle that possessing a treasure makes one vulnerable. Countless medicinal pills and valuable medicinal ingredients, even pill formulas, as well as many alchemists, were all treasures that could make people take risks. Just killing one Zhou Daoling might not be enough. After making up her mind, Su Yao's heart settled. Many Yao kings were flustered. After all, they didn't know what they were here for either. If they couldn't come up with a good excuse, they might not be able to leave. The Golden Wing Yao Emperor beside them also couldn't hold back. This humble one is Jin Huangtian, the Golden Wing Yao Emperor. I greet this fellow Taoist. We have no ill intentions. Please forgive us. Lin Yun glanced slightly at Jin Huangtian. Looking at the other party, he felt somewhat displeased. This ignorant fellow also seemed to have some sordid thoughts about Tianxiang Yao Emperor. He was practically courting death. Who is your fellow Taoist? What kind of thing are you? Lin Yun hadn't been so aggressive in a long time. But how could he tolerate others coveting the woman he fancied? Moreover, he also needed to establish his authority with the Yao race. Jin Huangtian was stunned, his face instantly turning a liver-like purple. He didn't expect the other party to be so disrespectful. He was a dignified Yao Emperor, after all. Fellow Taoist, please don't joke around. Jin Huangtian's tone also became somewhat cold. Although the other party's realm was higher than his, he considered his own bloodline talent extraordinary. He felt he could still exchange a few blows. If it really came down to it, the Yao race was not to be trifled with, and his speed was rumored to be the fastest in the world. It was rumored that he possessed a trace of the golden-winged Great Peng's bloodline. Whether it was true or false, no one knew. Even if it was true, it was unknown how many generations removed it was. Tianxiang Yao Emperor, where did these little cats and dogs come from? Why are they so ill-mannered? Lin Yun looked directly at Su Yao, his words full of sarcasm and disdain. Anyone with eyes could see that this powerful figure was clearly looking for trouble. Many great Yao became somewhat at a loss. Jin Huangtian couldn't hold back. You mustn't bully people too much. Lin Yun's eyes were indifferent. I will bully you too much. What? Are you not convinced? At this moment, even killing intent flickered in Lin Yun's eyes. Chapter 89, I still underestimated the heroes of the world. As soon as Lin Yun finished speaking, not to mention the Yao race, even the Yao family and the numerous cultivators were somewhat at a loss. The remaining Azure Jade sect disciples secretly breathed a sigh of relief. These great demons came at a timely moment. They attracted the firepower. They silently moved across the vast battlefield, urgently rescuing their senior brothers. Many disciples had not died, but were severely wounded and on their last breath. The Yao family members watched this scene without stopping them. Some kind-hearted alchemists even wanted to help, but after glancing at the man above, who was like a demon god, they still held back. Moreover, old clan head Yao and 7th Miss, the current clan chief, had not yet given any orders. Your Excellency, do you not think you're going too far? Is this how the human race treats guests? So impolitely? Jin Huangtian had reached his limit, especially in front of the woman he liked. To be so ridiculed and mocked, and with many Demon King subordinates present, how could he ever hold his head high again? If he acted like a coward this time, he wouldn't be able to get by in the future. Jin Huangtian was already arrogant by nature. If he were a bit smarter, being a bystander and speaking humbly now would be the optimal solution. Even Inu had figured it out. The other party was clearly deliberately targeting the golden-winged Demon Emperor. Perhaps he was just waiting for him to jump out. Su Yao also understood this in her heart, so she wisely did not intervene. Furthermore, she never liked the unruly golden-winged Demon Emperor. What's more, he had harassed her repeatedly. It was good for him to suffer a bit. Thinking of this, Su Yao secretly sent a message to Lin Yun. Young master, the golden-winged Demon Emperor possesses the fastest speed in the world. Please be careful. Lin Yun's expression was calm, but he was somewhat surprised in his heart. How did this little celestial fox turn against him so quickly? Or was she trying to use him to eliminate dissidents? However, none of that mattered anymore. In any case, Lin Yun was already prepared to act. And in his heart, this little celestial fox was also one of his people now. What guessed? He's just a feathered beast. Lin Yun's words deeply stung the golden-winged Demon Emperor. Several avian Demon Emperors also had unpleasant expressions. Presumptuous. This emperor will let you witness my power today. Jin Huangtian immediately flared up. This was no longer a provocation, but a naked insult to him. How could he, with his inherently proud and violent nature, tolerate it? Lin Yun's lips curled slightly. He took a step forward, blocking Little Medical Immortal. Protect yourself. MHM, I know. Little Medical Immortal bit her lip, still glaring hostilely at Su Yao. Only then did she retreat to the back. Su Yao gave a wry smile, but she understood the reason. Golden Wing shattering heaven slash. The golden-winged Demon Emperor, as his name suggested, was a magnificent golden bird, exceptionally handsome. As his magic power circulated and his divine ability activated, a colossal golden bird phantom appeared behind him, obscuring the sky and sun. Endless demonic chi swept in all directions. This aura seemed even stronger than that of old ancestor of the Zhou family, Zhou Daoling, from earlier. It caused many cultivators to feel a sense of dread in their hearts. Was this the golden-winged Demon Emperor, known as the strongest in combat among the 3 great Demon Emperors? It was well known that among the 3 great Demon Emperors, Tianxiang Demon Emperor was famous for her beauty and cunning. The golden-winged Demon Emperor, on the other hand, represented slaughter and brutality. As for the other Demon Emperor, he was very mysterious, with almost no information about him circulating. Rumor had it that he was an old man who stayed out of worldly affairs. Jin Huangtian used his palm as a blade. He directly chopped down with a palm strike. 100 zhang wide and 1,000 zhang long blade glow, formed by countless golden sharp edges, appeared. It descended towards Lin Yun with an unstoppable force that seemed to tear everything apart. It even included the Yao family members behind him within its attack range. Lin Yun's eyes flickered. This demon emperor still had some tricks up his sleeve. It was actually a metal elemental divine ability. Its attack power was considered the strongest among those of the same realm. Moreover, he also mastered some kind of rapid divine ability. No wonder he could be a demon emperor. But encountering him, he was simply unlucky. As the sect master and great demon venerable of the Yin-Yang sacred sect, he had cultivated the Yin-Yang profound emperor sacred scripture to its highest realm. In the profound sky realm, it was well known that he was best at overpowering opponents head-on. Otherwise, how did his savage and domineering image come about? His magic power was already incomparably vast, once several times that of cultivators in the same realm. Now that he had awakened the chaos divine body, it was more than a dozen times greater. Those in the same realm had no power to fight back against him. What's more, this one was a realm lower than him. Even if the Yao race's innate physique and meridians were stronger than the human races, that would only allow them to prolong their struggle for a little longer. The flow of time seemed to slow down. Lin Yun looked up at this earth-shattering blow, his gaze calm and his expression unchanged. He simply raised his hand with an air of composure. A gigantic, pitch-black palm suddenly appeared out of thin air. It was as if it were substantial. Even its palm line seemed clearly visible. It powerfully surged upwards against the momentum and collided with the golden thousand-zhong blade glow. The world seemed to fall silent for an instant. A tremendous roar, similar to old ancestor of the Zhou family's self-detonation earlier, resounded once more. Endless golden light and pitch-black demonic clouds churned in all directions. The void realm itself seemed to be torn apart. Everyone present quickly summoned their protective aura or magic treasure to avoid being caught in the crossfire. Jin Huangtian's expression also changed dramatically. This was bad. Although he was impulsive, he wasn't foolish. So, this attack was already his strongest strike. Otherwise, his true demon soul wouldn't have directly manifested behind him just now. He hadn't expected the opponent to strike later, but arrive first. Not only did he directly and forcefully block his trump card, but it also seemed like a casual strike. He had miscalculated. But fortunately, he still had a secret technique hidden away. That was to run away, seeing that the man, who was like a demon god, cast his cold gaze upon him once more. Jin Huangtian knew he couldn't hesitate any longer, and he couldn't hold back. He had to fight with all his might, otherwise he might not be able to escape. The golden-winged demon emperor directly bit through the tip of his tongue. The demonic blood throughout his body began to burn. He condensed a drop of golden essence blood. This tiny drop of essence blood was dazzling and blinding, like a precious gem. Lin Yun's expression changed. He actually felt a terrifying aura within it, although it was somewhat faint. Fortunately, with a slight activation of his chaos divine body, this intimidating aura was dispelled. He didn't know that this was a diluted drop of golden-winged, great Peng blood essence. It belonged to a true divine bird race. Even in the immortal realm, this race had long since vanished. Its speed could be said to be unmatched in the world. It could directly traverse the void realm, making 1,000 miles seem like an inch. Even compared to the power of space, it was not inferior. Lin Yun had been warned by Su Yao, so he was already guarding against this move. However, he still underestimated the heroes of the world. The layers of spatial barriers he had set up were directly breached by a gigantic golden bird. It transformed into a dazzling golden light, moving in extreme speed, and vanished without a trace in an instant. Even Lin Yun couldn't sense the slightest aura of the opponent. Clearly, he had already fled tens of thousands of miles away. Lin Yun couldn't help but be stunned. He had still been careless. He had underestimated the heroes of the world. However, a monk can run, but his temple cannot. I want to see where you can run to. As long as he was still in this world, he was dead for sure. Moreover, he could also use this opportunity to make a trip to the 10,000 Demon Mountain range. This would give him a legitimate reason. It could be considered that he had a reason due to a strange turn of events. Lin Yun turned his gaze towards Tian Xiang, Demon Emperor. Chapter 90. Yao Lao passes away and heads to the Wan Yao mountain range. Lin Yun waved his hand slightly. Magical powers surged, instantly calming the violent and chaotic heaven and earth spiritual chi. Between heaven and earth, clarity was restored once again. However, below, there were still countless mountains of corpses and seas of blood. The exchange between Lin Yun and the golden-winged demon empress was extremely swift. Many people hadn't even realized what had happened. Jin Huangtian, knowing he was no match, fled for his life directly. But with his departure, that group of great demons became somewhat awkward, and their hearts were filled with dread, wondering if they would be the next target. Many demon kings looked at the Tianxiang demon empress with anticipation. Now, the only one they could rely on was the demon empress. Su Yao hadn't expected Jin Huangtian to be so useless. She had originally thought he could last a few rounds, and then she would mediate. In reality, Lin Yun's strength was simply too formidable. After some thought, Su Yao took a few steps forward. She curtsied gracefully. Immortal venerable sir is mighty, but I implore sir to see clearly. We and that golden-winged demon empress are not of the same ilk. We are here to discuss cooperation with the Yao family. Su Yao's voice was quite distinctive. It was somewhat childlike, or as Lin Yun would understand it, a squeaky voice. But looking at her sexy, delicate body and mature face, this contrast made old Devil Lin's heart stir slightly. He wondered if she would sound the same when she was panting. Cooperation? Lin Yun showed a look of surprise. This was like someone bringing a pillow when you wanted to sleep. Yes, I can represent the 10,000 Demon Mountain range and form an offensive and defensive alliance with the Yao family. From now on, the endless medicinal ingredients from the depths of the 10,000 Demon Mountain range can be directly supplied by our Yao race to the Yao family. The Yao family will provide the medicinal pills and supplies we need in exchange. As soon as Su Yao said this, the Yao family members were ecstatic. This was something countless alchemy noble families had dreamed of for years. But alas, humans and demons were of different paths. The human race immortal sects didn't even want such a thing to happen, because that would cause a certain sect or family to grow too powerful directly. Their influence would expand thousands of times over. This would undoubtedly affect the balance of internal forces. But now, the situation was different. The Yao family had an Ascension Realm son-in-law as a backer. On the Yao race side, the Tianxiang Demon Empress personally requested an alliance. Even the strongest among them, the golden-winged Demon Empress, was directly defeated and fled for her life. Under such circumstances, who would dare to jump out and say no? That would be asking for trouble, tired of living. Old Master Yao sat in his grand armchair, originally at the end of his life, experiencing a final burst of energy and was about to give out. But after hearing the Tianxiang Demon Empress's proposal, his cloudy eyes suddenly gleamed with brilliance. This might be the greatest opportunity in the Yao family's history. If it was achieved, he would die without regrets. Facing his ancestors in Netherworld, he could also proudly puff out his chest. From then on, the Yao family would be the true Medicine Emperor noble family on the continent. World-renowned and irreplaceable, Medicine King City could henceforth be renamed Medicine Emperor City. Sure. Old Master Yao called out, somewhat agitated. Yao Sure quickly stepped forward, holding the old master's withered hand. Grandpa, I'm here. Yao Sure's expression was somewhat complex. She knew what her grandpa was going to say. But if that were the case, wouldn't that woman get closer and closer? This was not what she wanted to see. But for the Yao family, for the greater good, did she still have a choice? And perhaps this was also what young Master Yin hoped for. Thinking of this, Yao Sure felt a bit bitter in her heart, but she also knew such a thing would happen sooner or later. So, to delay it, she even brought her 2 personal maids. She just hadn't expected it to come so quickly. Old Master Yao knew and understood the intricacies of this matter. He looked at his most beloved little granddaughter with some heartache. His little granddaughter also had a bitter fate. From birth, she bore the burden of a blood feud and the family's future. You've suffered. Yao Huishang felt some guilt in his heart. He just gently patted his little granddaughter's hand. Grandpa can see that he truly likes you and wants to treat you well. But he will leave one day, and then the Yao family will be in danger. So, Grandpa thinks he should be hoping to find a protective umbrella for our Yao family. It's just that you're suffering. Yao Huisheng naturally knew that since ancient times, heroes found it hard to resist beautiful women. Facing a peerless beauty like the Tianxiang Demon Empress, how could this invincible, convenient son-in-law maintain his composure? Moreover, he himself was not the kind of person who was upright and incorruptible. So the outcome was already foreseeable. Yao Sure bit her lip and nodded gently. Yes, I know. I will take good care of the family, Grandpa, don't worry. He treats me very well, I know that too. As cultivators of the Tao, I'm not that delicate. I will take care of myself, and I will make the Yao family stand at the pinnacle of the world. As Yao Sure spoke, she started to cry, because her grandpa's breath was getting weaker and weaker. He was originally hanging on by a thread. Now that the dust had settled, the Yao family was preserved, and its future was promising. He no longer had any worries. His will to live also diminished. Then Grandpa can rest assured. Good granddaughter, you must take good care of yourself. Yao Huisheng's voice grew weaker and weaker, but he still held on to his last breath, seemingly waiting for something. Just then, Lin Yun's figure suddenly appeared beside the old master. He didn't hesitate, directly holding old Master Yao's other hand. Old Master, please rest assured, I will arrange everything. Sure is my woman. I will take good care of her. Old Master Yao smiled contentedly. Youngster Yun, you've worked hard. Little Chi is entrusted to you. Old Master Yao knew that this convenient son-in-law had a mysterious origin, but that was no longer important. Lin Yun had already proven his intentions and his own strength. Old Master Yao was now completely acting as an elder. He placed Yao Shishir's hand in Lin Yun's palm. A smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. And then, there was no more sound. The last trace of life also faded with the wind. Yao Shishir threw herself into Lin Yun's arms, crying uncontrollably, gasping for breath. Among the Yao family's ranks, there was also a scene of sorrow. Soft sobs rose in unison. Even in numerous onlookers, hundreds of thousands of cultivators, at this moment, felt a surge of sadness in their hearts. Old Master Yao, may you rest in peace. Countless cultivators shouted in unison. Heaven and earth suddenly shone brightly, instantly dispelling the heavy, bloody, evil chi, as the foremost alchemist who had lived a life of good deeds and accumulated virtue. Old Master Yao had performed countless acts of kindness throughout his life. Even the great Tao of heaven and earth seemed to be seeing the old master off. Looking at this strange scene, Lin Yun also felt a surge of emotion. 3,000 great Taos, each with its own splendor. Looking at the rivers of blood and corpses strewn across the ground below, Lin Yun suddenly felt a realization. Today, Old Master of the Yao family passed away, which can be considered a joyous funeral. I will not dwell on it further. According to Old Master Yao's last wish, you may all leave on your own. From now on, all grievances are cleared. Lin Yun's calm voice resounded across the land. After all, the Yao family still had to multiply and thrive in this world, so Lin Yun didn't plan to eradicate them completely. Besides, more than half of them dying was enough. Thank you, immortal venerable sir, for your compassion. The numerous surviving Azure, Jade, sect disciples knelt on the ground, kowtowing in gratitude, their suspended hearts finally settling down. Lin Yun gently patted Yao Shishir's back. It's all right, you still have me. Don't cry, baby. Lin Yun coaxed her like a child. In truth, he wasn't good at comforting people. After all, no one had ever comforted him. Ooh, Grandpa's gone. Now only you treat me well. Yao Shishir's face was covered in tears. Her eyes were red. Yes, I will always treat you well. What about her? Yao Shishir suddenly looked at the group of great demons in the distance and asked. Lin Yun felt a bit awkward in his heart. I don't know yet. I plan to agree to her alliance. What do you think? If you think it's inappropriate, I'll think of another way. I will ascend sooner or later. I'm not at ease leaving you all behind. Their Yao race is powerful and can serve as your protective umbrella. Lin Yun spoke his true feelings. Just as Old Master Yao had instructed earlier, Yao Shishir bit her lip. She knew that now was not the time for her to be willful. Okay, I'll listen to you. Yao Shishir rubbed against Lin Yun's chest. Good, then I'll arrange it. Lin Yun gently ruffled her little head. You and young miss go back first. For the next matters, you could discuss and handle them yourselves. First, stabilize the situation. Lin Yun looked at by Yao and Qing Qiu. Yes, we will take good care of young Mississippi. The two women helped Yao, sure, and together they returned to the rear of Medicine King City. Next were some finishing touches and trivial matters, which had nothing to do with Lin Yun. He believed little medical immortal would handle it well herself. Lin Yun came before Su Yao. Both of them had now stepped out alone, floating in the air, facing each other. Looking at this woman up close, Lin Yun felt even more astonished. And she really seemed to smell wonderful. This was a peculiar sweet fragrance. It made one feel very comfortable, not cloying at all. No wonder she was called the Tian Xiang Demon Empress. Being scrutinized by Lin Yun from head to toe, the Tian Xiang Demon Empress felt his gaze seemed to carry knives, and could even see through her, as if seeing through her entire being. Her skin couldn't help but flush a delicate pink. Lin Yun was startled. Is she that exquisite? So sensitive. I have agreed to your request for an alliance. But next, at this point Lin Yun paused. I want you to take me to your Yao race imperial dynasty. Lin Yun's gaze was full of aggression and possessiveness. For some reason, Su Yao's heart pounded. Her precognitive talent seemed to have already told her what would happen next. So, he really couldn't wait to possess her? Yes, all right, let's go together. Please come to my palace for a chat. Su Yao suppressed the unease in her heart. She waved her sleeve, releasing a massive Tianxiang palace. It even came with a fragrant boudoir. Chapter 91, Are You Willing to Be My Woman? An Ascension Realm powerhouse has emerged. The Azure Jade sect was defeated, suffering countless casualties. The golden-winged demon emperor fled, his fate unknown. The Yao family of Medicine King City is rising. These pieces of news spread throughout the entire Tianshan realm with the speed of thunder. The entire cultivation world trembled. Each piece of news was more astonishing than the last. It has been tens of thousands of years since an Ascension Realm cultivator last appeared. Perhaps there were still one or two lingering on, hiding away. But those were old monsters who had been eliminated and dared not undergo tribulation for Ascension. However, the senior who has appeared now, he is in his peak state. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to turn the tide single-handedly. Everyone knew. The Azure Jade sect was doomed. Even if there was still an old ancestor within the sect, its strength would plummet. But what was even more unsettling was that a demon emperor from the 10,000 Demon Mountain range had also emerged, and had reached an agreement with the Yao family. The rise of the Yao family was unstoppable. That golden-winged demon emperor was probably in danger. 9 times out of 10, he wouldn't escape death. In front of an Ascension Realm powerhouse in his peak state, it was no different from facing the pursuit of a true immortal. There would be no surprises. The landscape of this world seemed to change all at once. For the next 10,000 years, the protagonist could only be the Yao family. A medicine emperor was about to be born. Many immortal sects and noble families, from this moment on, strictly warned their disciples and juniors never to provoke the Yao family, and immediately began organizing manpower, having elders bring generous gifts, preparing to visit the Yao family. On one hand, to attend Old Master Yao's memorial service, and on the other, to congratulate the Yao family on its sudden rise to prominence. With the endless supply of medicinal ingredients from the 10,000 Demon Mountain range, it was conceivable that the Yao family's medicinal pills would experience a surge in production. This was also a major event that would benefit cultivators across the land. Now, it was naturally a good opportunity to discuss cooperation and trade. Otherwise, it might be too late. Moreover, they also wanted to pay their respects to that mysterious Ascension powerhouse. It was rumored that he was the son-in-law of the Yao family. If they could receive some guidance, that would be even better. Undoubtedly, he should now be the strongest in this world. Perhaps he would achieve immortal ascension one day. Now was the time to curry favor. When else? And the Yao family, after his ascension, was also destined not to decline immediately. No one would even dare to provoke them. After all, the Yao family still had the 10,000 Demon Mountain range behind it. Furthermore, the rising Yao family would inevitably form an offensive and defensive alliance with many immortal Dao sects. At that time, they would prosper or suffer together. Lin Yun's plan was finally realized. It was just that he was now focused on the demoness before him. Tianxiang Palace floated between heaven and earth, moving unhurriedly towards the 10,000 Demon Mountain range. It didn't seem to be in a rush. Many devil kings were scattered around it. Inside the palace, there were now the most distinguished guests. They didn't have the qualifications to enter, nor did they want to. After all, not everyone had such courage. There were only 3 people inside now. Heavenly Fragrance Demon Empress Su Yao, Lin Yun, and Yin, who served as a maid. She could pour tea and water. Moreover, she still had the restriction of the sword pellet planted by him within her body. So, she naturally wanted to take this opportunity to remove it. Inside the palace, there was a world of its own. Although it didn't look large from the outside, the interior space was equivalent to a blessed land. It even had mountains and water. In an elegant courtyard, there was a simply styled stone table in the pavilion. Lin Yun and Su Yao sat opposite each other. Boiling water on the table was steaming. The demoness Yin was brewing tea for the guests. Don't let her somewhat wild and unrestrained attire deceive you. Her slender waist was exposed. There was even a striking gem at her navel. But she performed the task of serving people with great skill. After pouring tea for both of them, Yin respectfully stepped back a few paces, standing to the side, awaiting instructions. Her heart was a little uneasy. She hadn't expected the sickly young man in the wheelchair from before to actually be an Ascension Realm powerhouse. This was simply terrifying. Thinking back to how she had tried to ambush him earlier, Yin felt as if she had walked through the gates of hell. It was imaginable that if she had actually acted, she would have died a miserable death. She secretly glanced at her 2 masters, and surprisingly found that they seemed to be a very good match. Lin Yun took a small sip of tea. A faint herbal fragrance lingered between his teeth. There seemed to be a unique wood-attributed spiritual qi, instantly making one feel clear-headed and refreshed. His heart also felt a little invigorated. This is the rain mist spiritual tea, a specialty from deep within our 10,000 Demon Mountain range. Does it suit Sir's taste? Su Yao raised her delicate jade hand and refilled Lin Yun's cup. It's all right. Lin Yun nodded slightly. He carefully observed the peerless beauty before him. Her most unique feature was her eyes, as if they could speak, and they carried a deep sense of seduction. Not deliberate, but naturally formed. Was this the unique charm of a demon fox, celestial maiden? His gaze swept over her cherry lips, her slender swan-like neck. Lin Yun's gaze was somewhat unrestrained. Su Yao also felt a little nervous in her heart. she naturally wouldn't be a match for this great devil king. So she had already put away those unrealistic little thoughts. Intelligent as she was very good at assessing the situation. Sir, your gaze on this concubine makes me feel a little uneasy. The light in Su Yao's beautiful eyes flowed. Without needing to try, she was already naturally enchanting. Haha, this is also my first time seeing such an extraordinary woman as you in this world. I heard you are from a nine-tailed demonic fox clan? Lin Yun's eyes held a hint of appreciation. Purely an appreciation for beautiful things. Replying to Sir, yes, this little woman might be the only nine-tailed demonic fox left in the world. Of course, whether there are still my clan members in the upper realm or other worlds, I do not know. Lin Yun nodded slightly. The nine-tailed demonic fox clan was famous throughout the world for its extreme beauty. They had always been the prey of certain powerhouses. It was normal for them to gradually disappear. Perhaps in some worlds, your clan members are still living in peace and prosperity. Just like I didn't know there were so many Yao race creatures before, let alone a peerless beauty like you living in seclusion. Lin Yun said faintly. There were indeed no significant Yao race forces in the Tianyuan realm. Hearing this, Su Yao's heart stirred. This suddenly appearing powerhouse was indeed not from this world. No wonder she had never heard of his prestige before. For such a powerhouse, this was very illogical. His path of growth must have been accompanied by mountains of corpses, seas of blood, and countless glories. Immortal venerable Sir, you are indeed from outside. Presumably, in another world, Sir also shook the heavens. Su Yao said with a light laugh. The more she looked at Lin Yun, the more pleasing he became to her eyes. The closer she got to this powerhouse, the more familiar he seemed to feel. Looking at her charming appearance, with eyes like autumn water and a face like peach blossoms, Lin Yun directly held her jade hand. It was very soft to the touch, as if holding a piece of soft jade. Are you willing to be my woman? Chapter 92. It's broken. I became a male succubus. Lin Yun's question was somewhat sudden. Caught off guard, she was directly grasped by his large hand. Su Yao was also a bit flustered, although she vaguely had this intention in her heart. After all, as a member of the Yao race, the higher she cultivated, the more difficult it became. Moreover, she lived in constant fear, worrying daily about being captured by certain evil cultivators and treated as a plaything. If she could meet a powerful cultivator with whom she was mutually enamored, that would naturally be a blessing. This was also a recognized shortcut for many female Yao race cultivators. Even though she had already reached the peak of this world, she was no exception, especially when she truly felt that. Her breakthrough opportunity lay with this man. Su Yao's heart wavered. For so many years, she had always kept her purity. This was the first time she had been directly touched by a member of the opposite sex. Some of Su Yao's innate talents seemed to be triggered. She instantly became watery-eyed. The atmosphere was somewhat enchanting. She bit her lip, her eyes alluring. It made Lin Yun feel a bit feverish just by looking at her. My lord, this is too sudden. Could you let me consider it? Lin Yun's gaze was steady and fervent. All right, but after I kill that flat-feathered demon empress, you must give me an answer. And I won't allow you to refuse. Lin Yun said somewhat domineeringly. What had he strived so hard to cultivate for all this time? Wasn't it to do as he pleased? As a strong individual, he had the right to enjoy all the most wonderful things in this world. Of course, that included peerless demonesses. This concubine won't run away. Su Yao listened to his domineering and unreasonable declaration. There was no anger in her heart. Instead, there was a hint of joy. Then this lord will await your good news. Although Lin Yun did like this exceptionally beautiful demoness, he was not in a hurry at this moment. After all, he had just been intimately served by Yao and Qin Xiu not long ago. Moreover, he still had important matters to attend to. The 10,000 Demon Mountain range had already been marked by Lin Yun as his next target for conquest, and as the backing of the Yao family. It had to be stable. Young master, aren't you curious why I gave up resisting so easily? Su Yao asked deliberately. Some things, rather than letting the other party suspect, it was better to clarify them herself in advance. This was also where she showed her cleverness. Oh, isn't it because you want to become the sole demon empress? In Lin Yun's view, this might be the other party's motivation. This was an ambitious demoness. If he suppressed the entire 10,000 Demon Mountain range, and he couldn't personally control the endless Yao race, then he would naturally need a spokesperson. Under Lin Yun's gaze, Su Yao shook her head. This is ultimately just a small fish pond. This concubine's gaze is already turned towards the sea of stars. Lin Yun leaned forward slightly. This was interesting. This woman actually had such great ambition. But only such a woman was worthy of his true attention. Otherwise, she would just be casually played with and then forgotten. The outside world knows that this concubine already has 7 tails. However, this concubine already has 8 tails. At this point, Su Yao seemed to hesitate. The matter she was about to reveal was the most sensitive and secret affair of their 9-tailed celestial fox clan. Young master, please look. Under Lin Yun's somewhat astonished gaze, several snow-white fox tails suddenly emerged from behind Su Yao. They were fluffy and incredibly beautiful. The fox tails trembled slightly, seemingly capable of enveloping Su Yao's entire body. Lin Yun instinctively reached out and touched one. Su Yao's face instantly flushed. Young master, please do not touch them casually, Su Yao said, gasping. In this state, her ears also transformed into beast ears. They were fluffy and somewhat adorable. Lin Yun absolutely adored it. Beast girl, furry, so beautiful. Indeed, such an enchantress could only be enjoyed by him. Lin Yun wanted to reach out and caress her small ears. After some thought, he decided against it. Lest things get out of control, good things should be saved for last. He needed to finish the important business first. Anyway, he wasn't in a hurry for ascension. He would enjoy himself thoroughly first. After all, upon reaching the immortal realm, who knew if he would have to start all over again? And he would also have to face the chase of the Empress Ancestral Master. However, escape was not old Devil Lin style. So, these good days were numbered. Seeing that Lin Yun made no excessive moves, Su Yao also breathed a sigh of relief. Young master, this concubine currently only has 8 tails. But if I wish to ascend to immortality, I must break through to 9 tails. It's just that this concubine is innately flawed, and her bloodline power is insufficient. So, if nothing unexpected happens, it will be impossible for me to achieve immortal ascension in this lifetime. At this point, Su Yao looked earnestly at Lin Yun. However, young master's appearance has made me feel an opportunity. My fox clan is actually skilled in deduction, and there are some premonitions in the ethereal. I don't know what you possess that I need, but if I am with you, young master, I can definitely break through the bloodline shackles. At this point, Su Yao was also a bit excited. Her face was flushed. Lin Yun was also startled. Looking at the charming and peerless demon fox, Heavenly Maiden, Lin Yun seemed to understand something. Did his chaos divine body have such an effect? He thought about it carefully. Chaos, as the root of all spirits, was the mother of all heaven and earth treasure. Especially for the Yao race, this should be even more so. It didn't seem strange to have such an effect. Do you feel very close to me, wanting to approach me when you look at me? Lin Yun suddenly asked. He wanted to confirm something. From the very first glance. Is that so? Su Yao was stunned. Then she nodded slightly. And the first time this concubine saw young master, it was as if I understood something. On young master, I seemed to feel a certain warmth, an incomparable sense of security. Lin Yun took a deep breath. This was interesting. Was this bastard chaos divine body trying to turn him into a male succubus? What would he do in the future? But upon closer thought, there seemed to be great benefits as well. If he encountered some powerful, innate, heavenly spiritual root or intelligent treasures, wouldn't they all just throw themselves into his arms? Moreover, if he met a powerful female cultivator, could he not just cling to her and live off her? To take it a step further, would it also have an effect on the Empress Ancestral Master? Lin Yun's mind instantly thought of countless possibilities. From this perspective, this trait seemed to be very useful indeed. In competing for heaven and earth treasure, or even in certain special environments, or in living off others. It was a divine artifact-level ability. It could be said to fully reap the benefits. It seemed he could also stir up trouble in the immortal realm. Lin Yun did not yet know that the upper realm had already been thrown into an uproar because of him. Gu Chenxing, the Emperor's clan chief of the Tai Su Sacred Dragon clan, had already made a powerful move. I think I probably understand what's going on. I will help you then. However, you must be obedient. Lin Yun's lips moved slightly, seemingly saying something. Su Yao's ears instantly turned red. Her beautiful eyes looked at Lin Yun with some disbelief. She was somewhat flustered, even indignant, but she still nodded obediently. And I will eat it. I will listen to young master in everything. She was very submissive. Chapter 93, The Mystery of 10,000 Monsters, the opportunity to become an immortal. Not far away, Silver Moon, watching this scene, could hardly believe her eyes. When did Demon Empress sister become so gentle and lovely? She even knew how to act spoiled. But after you two finish your flirtation, please tell me about the restriction in my body. Silver Moon felt anxious, but she didn't dare to go forward and disturb them, let alone outsiders. Even she had never seen the Demon Empress with 8 tails before. Qinxiang Palace was still flying unhurriedly. Meanwhile, deep within the 10,000 Demon Mountain range, a golden light shot through the air with lightning speed. It landed directly in Jin Huangtian's magnificent palace. Then, Jin Huangtian, with a pale face and a hint of terror in his eyes, revealed himself. He was now facing the greatest life-and-death crisis of his existence. He should have known not to be so impulsive. He hadn't expected the opponent to be so incredibly powerful. He had thought that, even if he couldn't win, he could at least hold his own for a bit. As a result, he was almost beaten to death in their first exchange. Jin Huangtian's face was devoid of color. Most of his blood had been refined to condense a single, faint drop of golden-winged Great Peng's vital blood. Only then was he able to activate his innate divine ability. He directly broke through the void and fled back. But the matter was not over. He had a premonition that the opponent would not let him go. Moreover, that slut, Tian Xiang, must have already thrown herself into his arms. That bitch. What Jin Huangtian hated most now was not Lin Yan. Instead, it was Su Yao. In his opinion, the cause of the problem was this bitch. If it weren't for her, he wouldn't have gotten involved in this mess. Furthermore, as a fellow demon empress, she stood by and did nothing while he was defeated. She even seemed to revel in it. How could this not fill his heart with hatred? Your Majesty, the demon emperor, you've returned. Your concubine has missed you terribly. Many demonesses surrounded him. Get out, all of you, ignoring the many scantily clad, enchanting maids in the hall. Jin Huangtian rushed straight to the treasury. After going through multiple verifications, he swept away everything useful in the treasury. He was preparing to flee. But in this vast world, where could he run? With the opponent's ascension realm cultivation and might at his command, he feared he would have nowhere to hide. After some thought, Jin Huangtian decided to take another risk. The other demon emperor was actually the true first demon emperor of the 10,000 demon mountain range. That person had lived for an unknown number of years. Even he didn't know the other's origin or background. He only knew that it seemed to be an old dragon turtle. And Tian Xiang was the third demon emperor. Her power was actually the weakest. But this first demon emperor had stopped caring about worldly affairs tens of thousands of years ago. He had always lived in seclusion in the deepest part of the mountain range. No one knew if he was bearing some mission or what the reason was. He generally wouldn't leave easily. Unless the 10,000 demon mountain range was attacked on a large scale, he would not intervene. In fact, both he and Tian Xiang were actually discovered and nurtured by that mysterious first demon emperor. Jin Huangtian and Su Yao actually didn't know their own origins. They had no parents or relatives. Since they could remember, they had been in the 10,000 demon mountain range. Even their cultivation technique was directly given to them by the first demon emperor. So Jin Huangtian now wanted to grasp his only straw of hope. In his opinion, this mysterious old demon emperor was probably also in the ascension realm. This possibility was very high. Otherwise, he would have died of old age long ago. If he was willing to help him, then he would be saved. Thinking of this, Jin Huangtian no longer hesitated. He directly transformed into a golden light and flew towards the deepest part. He soon arrived before a deep, emerald green pool. This deep pool was unfathomable, rumored to lead directly to the East Sea. Beside it, ancient trees reached to the sky, huge branches and vines intertwined like pythons. And that old turtle usually liked to stay in the deep pool, or bask in the sun on a smooth, giant rock nearby. No one knew the name of this first demon emperor, nor his race. He was not greedy for wealth or power. He didn't even have a small wooden hut, let alone a luxurious palace. Jin Huangtian was lucky. He saw the white-haired old man on a blue stone nearby. "Senior, please save me." Jin Huangtian saw that the other party seemed to be basking in the sun with his eyes closed. He knelt down without hesitation and shouted. The old man's long beard trembled. He pinched his fingers to calculate. He didn't even open his eyes. He seemed to have already understood something. "There's no hope. Just wait for death." It sounded like a joke, but in Jin Huangtian's ears, it was incredibly terrifying. He knew that this mysterious senior was very skilled at divining the secrets of heaven. He could be said to be infallible. Now, he actually said that he was beyond saving? How could this be? "Senior, what's going on? Is there no glimmer of hope?" Jin Huangtian's face was distorted. "No, because I also want to kill you," the old man in linen clothes said indifferently. Jin Huangtian was somewhat incredulous, unable to believe his ears. He quickly got up and was about to flee for his life. The old man suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes were a bit cloudy, but at this moment, a sharp light flickered within them. The old man in linen clothes flicked his finger. A dragon binding rope shot out like lightning, directly tying up Jin Huangtian. "Senior, you are the first demon emperor of our Yao race. Why would you do this?" "I was raised under your watchful eye." Jin Huangtian's face was twisted with terror. He had thought it was a glimmer of hope, but he hadn't expected to walk straight into a trap, the gates of hell. The more he struggled, the tighter the binds became. Soon, he was directly squeezed into his flesh. In an instant, he became a bloody mess. This was the dragon tendon of a deceased dragon king from the East Sea flood dragon race. Jin Huangtian was caught off guard. Naturally, he was powerless to resist. Everything is fate. The old man in linen clothes formed a hand seal, showing no mercy. Emerald green symbols flickered on Jin Huangtian's body. His entire cultivation was being extracted. A golden demon core formed above his head. His aura grew weaker and weaker. His curses also grew fainter and fainter, until there was no sound at all. The dignified, golden-winged demon emperor, Jin Huangtian, who was known as the strongest in combat. His form directly vanished into thin air. His entire being was refined into a dazzling golden demon core. The old man glanced at it, expressionless. How could I let your selfish desires destroy the opportunity my race has awaited for tens of thousands of years? This demon core, as a small gift, should be enough to please him, right? Moreover, that girl Tianxiang should not miss out either. Once she achieves immortal ascension, the seal on this cage, the 10,000 Demon Mountain range, will be lifted, and after so many years of languishing here, I can finally regain my freedom. The old man thought to himself. Then he continued to close his eyes. After such a long time, he was already tired of all worldly pleasures. He just wanted to end this boring life early and return to the Out Realm. For him, 1,000 years were but a flick of a finger. By then, the descendant of the nine-tailed celestial fox, having received that person's favor, should have achieved immortal ascension through cultivation. Fate is a very mysterious thing. He couldn't comprehend Lin Yun's destiny, but he knew that this person was an anomaly. One could only befriend him, and it involved Su Yao's opportunity for immortal ascension. It was also the only chance to lift the seal on the 10,000 Demon Mountain range. The reason why the Yao race flourished so much in this world was actually because this was a cage. It was a punishment inflicted by a certain powerful figure from the upper realm in a fit of rage. A large tribe of the Yao race was trapped and left to die here. Unless a demon could defy heaven and change their fate to achieve immortal ascension, the contract would be lifted. And this secret was known only to him, as both the guardian and the one with the cursed blood. On the other side, the speed of Tianxiang Palace was also getting faster and faster. Lin Yun was currently seated on the throne. He looked at the silver moon demoness kneeling on the ground below. She was completely prostrate on the ground. Her 5 limbs were on the ground. Her buttocks were raised high. Her chest was pressed against the ground, revealing her somewhat exaggerated figure and cleavage. She had come to beg for forgiveness, but she didn't know what she would face. At this moment, her heart was also somewhat terrified. Looking at her fiery, delicate body, her scattered silver hair, and her fair, jade-like skin, Lin Yun's eyes flickered slightly. Perhaps he should collect some interest first. Such a top-grade beauty could not be missed. Hashtag 94, Chapter 94. Queen Silver Moon is about to collapse. The atmosphere was somewhat quiet. Inua's heart was filled with terror and unease. This was a bedchamber within the Tianxiang Palace. Heavenly Fragrance, Demon Empress, Su Yao was not present at the moment. As for Inua's matter, Su Yao had only mentioned it briefly in the end. After all, she couldn't order Lin Yun to do anything. She herself was now preparing to pledge her loyalty. This humble maid/slave girl knows her mistake. Please, immortal venerable sir, spare this humble maid/slave girl. Inua's delicate body trembled slightly. Seeing Lin Yun remain silent, she could only beg for mercy in this manner. Lin Yun looked at her graceful figure. His heart felt a slight warmth. Oh, what was your mistake? He said with a hint of playfulness. Opportunities to make a woman admit her mistake were rare. Inua breathed a sigh of relief when Lin Yun finally spoke, but she also grew more nervous. Demon Empress' sister said he wouldn't make things difficult for her, so there shouldn't be any problems, right? After all, they were considered their own people now. Earlier in the garden, she felt that Demon Empress' sister had already reached some kind of understanding with this man, perhaps even that kind of relationship. As for what her mistake was, Inua truly didn't know what her mistake was. Her biggest mistake was encountering such a ruthless person. She could only blame her bad luck. Blame the damned Zhou family. This humble maid/slave girl shouldn't have offended your majesty. Inua didn't even dare to raise her head. She just spoke in a low voice with her head down. Lin Yun's lips curved into a faint smile. Look up at me. Inua's delicate body trembled, her heart filled with shame. But she could only comply. She looked up at the man who was high above, like a devil god. You didn't offend me. You just wanted to kill me. Lin Yun's voice was very calm. But the calmer he was, the more terrified Inua became. This humble maid/slave girl wouldn't dare. Those were all accidents, she quickly said. This humble maid/slave girl knows her mistake, and hopes immortal venerable sir will spare this humble maid/slave girl. If this charge were to be confirmed, even Demon Empress might not be able to save her. So Inyue no longer cared about her dignity as a Yao king. She actually called herself a humble maid/slave girl. This gave Lin Yun a strange feeling in his heart. You don't know your mistake, you just know you're going to die. Lin Yun's playful voice completely broke Inyue's composure. The sword pellet in her body was like a magical sword hanging over her neck, ready to fall at any moment. Her life was hanging by a thread. She had cultivated for so many years and finally became a Yao king with great difficulty. She was also the prodigy and the entire hope of the demonic wolf race. If she died, the demonic wolf race would not only be leaderless, but also likely be devoured by other Yao race. This humble maid/slave girl doesn't want to die. Please, immortal venerable sir, spare my life. Tears instantly streaked Inyue's exquisite, somewhat exotic face. She cried, hoping that Sir would take pity on her. In fact, she also knew that the crimes she had committed before were already capital offenses. Although it didn't succeed, the intention was undoubtedly to assassinate immortal venerable Sir and his woman. Therefore, her heart was filled with terror and unease. Old Devil Lin found her so fragile and felt a bit bored. He didn't even think about it. Anyone else in her position wouldn't fare much better. But looking at her delicate appearance, like a pear blossom bathed in rain, Lin Yun wanted to tease her again. Crawl over. Lin Yun's eyes were playful. He leaned back lazily in the ornate chair. Upon hearing this, Inyue froze. Was this blatant humiliation, or was he trying to toy with her? But looking at his indifferent expression, Inyue knew she had no room to bargain. So she could only comply. She didn't get up. Seeing her humble and fawning appearance, Lin Yun was in a great mood. He reached out and pinched her chin, making her look up at him. Her eyes were beautiful, but now they were filled with fear. Her face was also very pretty, and her skin was delicate. She was just crying like a pear blossom bathed in rain. Lin Yun's fingers gently stroked her red lips. Inyue subconsciously opened her mouth slightly. MMPH. Inyue whimpered, unable to speak. She understood. He wanted her to fawn over him like a puppy to atone for her sins. So she understood. She humbly rubbed her face against Lin Yun's palm, full of subservience. Lin Yun gently stroked her small head. So well-behaved. Upon hearing this, Inyue became even more eager. Bring out your ears. Lin Yun suddenly thought of something. Inyue's face was flushed with embarrassment and shyness. But she bit her lip and did as she was told. Lin Yun saw a pair of fluffy silver ears pop out, and his heart was instantly filled with wonder. It seemed that all Yao race women had these cute little accessories. Lin Yun curiously reached out and touched them. Inyue instantly let out a soft moan, and her entire body went limp on the ground. Lin Yun became interested. Come here. Inyue hesitated for a moment, her eyes filled with pleading. No, I don't want to. Don't touch me there. Her small ears were the most sensitive. Lin Yun frowned and said again, come here. Inyue knew that this might be the last hurdle. If she passed it, then everything should be forgiven. So she gritted her silver teeth and obediently crawled up, throwing herself into Lin Yun's arms. A fragrant breeze assailed him. Lin Yun narrowed his eyes slightly. Although she was an ice frost demonic wolf, Inyue had no peculiar smell on her body. Instead, there was a unique fresh fragrance. Her silver-white long hair was like frost. There was a cold aura about her, and even her skin was icy cold. Lin Yun quite liked it. Her hair was even more icy and silky smooth. Lin Yun toyed with her long hair. Do you want to die or live? Lin Yun asked softly. This humble maid/slave girl. This humble maid/slave girl wants to live. Inyue looked at Lin Yun piteously. Oh, that's good. Then do you know what to do? Lin Yun liked this, letting her make her own choices. Otherwise, it always seemed like he was bullying people. From now on, this humble maid/slave girl will be your humble maid/slave girl. Inyue originally wanted to say puppy, but it was hard to utter. She was a noble silver-winged demonic wolf. Very good. Where are your little wings? Transform them so this venerable can see. Lin Yun was also in a playful mood. Inyue's watery eyes were full of pleading. Do I have to? Yes, no more nonsense. Lin Yun unceremoniously slapped her. Inyue took a deep breath, suppressing the shame and anger in her heart. Behind her, a pair of snow-white little wings appeared out of thin air, adorned with faint glacial blue patterns. They looked very enchanting, possessing a unique beauty. And the tail. Lin Yun scrutinized her, somewhat dissatisfied. Inyue was on the verge of collapsing. This isn't fair. But under Lin Yun's oppressive power, she had no choice but to submit. Beast ears, wings, and a tail, she had them all. Lin Yun seemed to have discovered a new continent, and he even made Inyue strike various poses. Lin Yun also recorded it with a shadow recording stone. He now felt like a photographer. This kind of Yao race queen was actually the real top-tier beauty. Lin Yun decided not to kill her. Anyway, she posed no threat to him. Come here, he commanded again. The tear stains on Inue's face had already dried, but the scars in her heart were growing deeper and deeper. Chapter 95. Jealousy with the Demon King's sister? Once again, nestled in the arms of this devil, Inue felt an inexplicable sense of security in her heart. She couldn't help but rub her cheek against Lin Yun's chest. Lin Yun gently stroked her small head. Inue narrowed her eyes slightly. She seemed to be enjoying it immensely. From now on, you are mine, understand? Lin Yun said suddenly. Yes, this humble maid/slave girl understands. Inue hadn't expected herself to reach this point. But it had to be said, after taking that most difficult step in her heart, she also felt much more relaxed. Lin Yun played with her somewhat cool hair. This lord will not treat you unfairly. In the future, you will be the next Demon Empress. Tianxiang will ascend sooner or later, and Genie will die. The other one, I always feel a bit strange about him. Perhaps he won't be a good choice. That's why you're the best in this lord's eyes. You will take over Tianxiang's position and guard the Yao family for me. By then, my women should also be able to ascend. Then you can all come find me together. Understood. Every word Lin Yun spoke. Inue's heart trembled. The beautiful blueprint he described, wasn't that exactly what she yearned for? This humble maid/slave girl understands. This humble maid/slave girl will not disappoint you, Lord. Inue's heart was filled with joy. This reward came too quickly. She hadn't expected that one day she would also have the opportunity to achieve immortal ascension. The position of Demon Empress, she occasionally fantasized about it. But those are all matters for later. For now, you must be obedient, understand. Lin Yun was always very generous to his own people. Inue blushed and nodded. Then, the restriction within this humble maid/slave girl's body. She asked tentatively, I will remove it for you. Of course, Lin Yun wouldn't use such underhanded methods. Although in his heart, Inue wasn't truly his woman yet. At most, she was a concubine, but it wasn't enough to make him wary. Lin Yun reached out and gently pressed his hand on her slender waist. Although it wasn't their first contact, Inue still couldn't help but feel a tremor in her heart. Her whole body felt a little numb. Even the heavenly fragrance Demon Empress Su Yao couldn't withstand the aura of Lin Yun's chaos divine body, let alone her. She immediately went limp in Lin Yun's arms. Inue still didn't know how great her opportunity would be in the future. That was a true immortal ascension opportunity. Lin Yun's mind stirred. In an instant, he removed the sword pill restriction within her body. In this brief moment, Inue actually became somewhat drenched in fragrant sweat. But even her sweat was cold. Lin Yun was a little surprised. He pinched her chin, making her watery eyes look at him. Does it feel very strange? Inue nodded. Do you feel like you've fallen in love with this lord? Lin Yun's lips curled slightly. This absurd physique buff still had some use. At least it could bring him many trustworthy female subordinates. Inue's face flushed. Even she herself felt a little strange. She had clearly been full of resistance towards him at first. Her closeness was also due to fear. But now, why did she feel so at ease? Even somewhat dependent. I might be a humble maid/slave girl. I just like it when you treat me like this. Inue couldn't figure out why. She felt a little ashamed under Lin Yun's teasing gaze. So after hastily saying a sentence, she buried her head in Lin Yun's chest. Lin Yun burst out laughing. He turned her face to look at him. It felt somewhat unique, but equally sweet and delicious. Moreover, the other party was more active. Old Devil Lin was very happy. This kiss, eternal, lasted for an unknown amount of time. Inue was drenched in fragrant sweat. Lin Yun looked down at her. Do you understand now? Do you feel anything? Inue hadn't fully recovered yet. Hearing him, she was a little bewildered. Lin Yun frowned. Feel the changes in your cultivation. According to his guess, he was a walking immortal medicine. Kissing should also have some effect. Seeing his displeasure, Inue quickly became serious. She carefully sensed the changes in her own cultivation. Then her eyes lit up. She didn't even have time to be shy. Her magical power circulation had actually sped up several times. What was going on? If she continued in this state, she feared it wouldn't be long before she could break through. She looked at Lin Yun, her eyes a little strange. What was the origin of this man? Was he an immortal medicine that had cultivated into a spirit? Lord, could it be that you are also of the Yao race, an immortal medicine in reincarnation? Inue, somewhat unintelligently, asked directly. Lin Yun gave her a slap, a little exasperated. You're the immortal medicine in reincarnation. But this lord is a bit special, that's all. Now you know why the heavenly fragrance Demon Empress also willingly follows me, right? Lin Yun said with some pride. Inue swallowed, feeling a little scared in her heart. If that was the case, wouldn't she have to compete for favor with Demon Empress' sister in the future? What was she to do? Moreover, just kissing had such an effect. If Inue didn't dare to think. She feared that a few more times, and she would break through. Inue's gaze towards Lin Yun was somewhat different now. Her eyes were full of longing. Umph. What? Do you want to devour this Lord raw? Lin Yun's lips curved in a teasing smile. What I give you, you can have, understand? Inue's heart trembled. This humble maid/slave girl understands, and I hope Master will cherish me greatly. Inue obediently placed Lin Yun's palm on her cheek. That's a good girl. Lin Yun felt secretly pleased. Come here, accept my reward. Lin Yun said somewhat domineeringly. Inue let out a delicate cry, feigning resistance. Both of them were somewhat engrossed, lost in passion. They seemed to have completely failed to notice. The heavenly fragrance demon empress, Su Yao, had arrived nearby at some unknown point. Watching the two of them pressed tightly together, Su Yao's heart, saying she didn't care, was false. Oh, you came to beg for mercy, but you ended up in my man's arms. She also knew the unique taste and characteristics of Inue. Cool and refreshing. Su Yao's heart felt a little sour. She didn't know if she was jealous of Lin Yun or Inue, or both. She hadn't even had such intimate contact yet. She hadn't expected Inue to get a head start. Su Yao was almost furious. No, she also had to speed up her progress. Otherwise, wouldn't she only be able to be a minor concubine in the future? She couldn't accept that. Lin Yun naturally knew Su Yao was nearby, but this made him even more brazen in his actions. As if it was more interesting this way. Inue might not have known. So, after the two of them came to their senses, seeing the heavenly fragrance demon empress standing right beside them, Inue immediately panicked. Demon empress, She was almost crying, or perhaps she was already crying. Lin Yun gently patted her back. It's all right, be good. Why did you come? Lin Yun asked the stunning Su Yao. Even the demon king sister was like this. Wouldn't the demon empress sister be even more delicious and invincible? Chapter 96, Surprise, Ice and Fire. Su Yao's beautiful face seemed to hold a hint of coldness. Looking at the two, who were somewhat disheveled, a strange sense of irritation suddenly swelled within her. Lin Yun noticed Su Yao's expression and immediately felt displeasure. No, you can't tell who's boss, can you? Who are you giving that look to? You haven't even entered my Lin family's door yet, and you're already so temperamental. What will it be like in the future? Although you are beautiful, that's no reason for your arrogance. In front of old Devil Lin, you can only ever be a concubine, especially before you've truly gained my acceptance. Then you have even less right to throw a tantrum. Who told you to cry? Lin Yun frowned. He forcefully gripped Sister Inyu's chin, making her look at him. With me here, what are you panicking about? Lin Yun's voice was somewhat sharp, causing Sister Inyu to instantly panic. This humble maid/slave girl was just a little nervous. It was hard to tell how much of her performance was genuine and how much was feigned. But Su Yao, watching this scene, felt even more uncomfortable. Moreover, if you act like this, won't he have even less goodwill towards me? Su Yao began to think seriously. Could Sister Inyu be doing this on purpose? To make young Master Yun think I'm narrow-minded? Although she was indeed a little angry, as members of the Yao race, their customs were inherently more open. So Su Yao quickly adjusted her mindset. Besides, she had long anticipated this day. You come at just the right time. Come over here. Lin Yun gently patted his left side, gesturing for Su Yao to lie down. Su Yao's face flushed. She pursed her lips and said nothing. Lin Yun raised an eyebrow. He also looked at her without speaking. The atmosphere seemed a little tense, and Sister Inyu even started to get scared. Su Yao suddenly smiled brightly. That smile was full of charm, as if the entire bedchamber had brightened. Young Master Yun, you truly have such refined tastes. Perhaps this concubine has come at an opportune time. Sister Inyu, congratulations. As she spoke, Su Yao gracefully waved her long sleeve. Her long white skirt slipped down, revealing her close-fitting gauze undergarment. Then, very naturally, she gently nestled against Lin Yun's other side. Young Master Yun, is this satisfactory? She rested her head on Lin Yun's chest. Lin Yun smiled. He wrapped his arm around her waist. Excellent. This was the kind of captive he liked. Otherwise, if they spent every day bickering, how would he live? Although he knew this couldn't be achieved in a day or two, it was still better to be as harmonious as possible. In old Devil Lin's life, the only one who could truly control him was the Empress Ancestral Master. He showed no fear towards his master and senior sister either. He did as he pleased and got what he wanted. Thinking of his master, senior sister, and junior sister, Lin Yun's heart suddenly felt as if a basin of cold water had been poured over it. They were eagerly awaiting him now. He was still in this land of gentle comfort. He still needed to work harder, seize the time to ascension, and then carve out a place for himself in the world. Only then could he bring his master and the others to his side. You will also ascension later. Let Sister Inyu take over for you, and continue to protect the Yao family. My women cannot be bullied by anyone. Lin Yan offered this as an explanation. Su Yao nodded slightly. This concubine understands. This is indeed a good method. Sister Inu is also a very good candidate, and she's also a peerless beauty. Tianxiang Demon Empress looked at Sister Inu, a meaningful smile appearing at the corner of her lips. Young Master Yun, isn't the cool taste very good? Su Yao suddenly whispered, her breath like orchids, into Lin Yun's ear. Lin Yun's heart stirred. Oh, you know too? He became interested. Could it be that these two demonesses also had such a preference? Sometimes. Tianxiang Demon Empress smiled somewhat seductively. Sister Inu's face was flushed, a little embarrassed. Sister, stop teasing me. She squirmed a little. Tianxiang Demon Empress's fragrance permeated the air. All three were somewhat intoxicated. Young Master Yun, aren't you curious about my taste? Su Yao proactively asked. She licked her red lips, her peach blossom eyes full of allure. Lin Yun pinched her chin. Yes, of course I want to. Lin Yun felt an incomparable sweetness and moisture. This nine-tailed celestial fox truly lived up to her reputation. If it weren't for the lack of time now, he would be doing it immediately. Both women were somewhat eager to please him, making Lin Yun somewhat reluctant to leave this blissful place. The Tianxiang Palace seemed to unknowingly speed up. Lin Yun gripped Sister Inu's slender neck, looking at the plea in her watery eyes. Then he looked at the pure-faced Su Yao. Suddenly, he didn't know which one to favor. Just then, a commotion came from outside. Demon Empress, something terrible has happened. A female demon outside shouted in a panic. Su Yao frowned. What's all this panic about? She scolded softly. Golden Wing Demon Emperor is dead. The contracts he left on the Demon Kings have all been broken, the female demon said in a panic. Hearing this, Lin Yan also stopped what he was doing, pinching and rubbing Sister Inu's beautiful face. He then gently patted Su Yao, telling her to sit properly. Let's speed up. I want to see who's behind this. Lin Yan felt a little strange in his heart. Who would dare to snatch my spoils of war? Now, who in the world doesn't know that I am in the Ascension realm? Is there still someone so audacious? The Demon Emperor I crippled was actually preempted and killed by someone else. This was undoubtedly a blatant slap in the face. Su Yao's long legs rested on Lin Yun, showing no intention of moving. Her long hair was spread out, like a lotus flower, covering the throne. On the other side was Sister Inu's cool silver hair. Lin Yun even had the illusion of experiencing both ice and fire. The fiery passion of Tianxiang Demon Empress and the inherent chill of Sister Inu. Young Master Yun, it might not be what you imagine. This concubine has a guess, but I don't know if it's accurate. Su Yao's slender jade hand drew circles on Lin Yun's chest. Lin Yun looked at her with some curiosity. Oh, tell me, it might be the first Demon Emperor who made a move. Su Yao's eyes showed a hint of remembrance. The first Demon Emperor is very ancient. We are all actually his juniors. One could even say he cultivated us. And the origin of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range is actually somewhat mysterious. To be precise, he is the true master of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. So, Golden Wing must have gone to him for help. But for some unknown reason, that person directly killed him. Perhaps he wanted to show goodwill to you, my lord. Although he always stays out of worldly affairs, this concubine speculates that his strength might also be in the Ascension realm. However, he never interferes with my or Golden Wing's decisions. So, my lord, you can rest assured. Su Yao carefully watched Lin Yun's expression, fearing he might be unhappy. Her slender jade hand gently stroked Lin Yun's face. Sister Inu also obediently leaned against him. This was her first time hearing the Demon Emperor's secret, and she was also a little surprised. Lin Yun was also calculating in his heart. It sounded like this world had some stories. No wonder there were so many Yao race factions for no apparent reason. But he would know once he met them. At worst, they would just fight it out, have a match, and see who was the boss. Lin Yun didn't believe there was anyone in this world who could surpass him. In that case, doesn't that mean there's no hurry to go over? Lin Yun suddenly murmured to himself. The matters of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range seemed to have no more major ripples. The two women, hearing this, seemed to understand his meaning. Their breathing quickened, and their faces flushed. They exchanged glances, their eyes filled with a mix of anticipation and hostility. Lin Yun, however, suddenly reached out and pulled Su Yao even closer. Chapter 97. Conquer Tianxiang Inue and express your deep love. In a corner of the bed, Su Yao was drenched in fragrant sweat. Her beautiful face held a captivating shyness. Her eyes were watery, brimming with surprise and longing. 5 hours had already passed. The Tianxiang Palace suddenly slowed down. It seemed in no hurry to go to the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range anymore. Su Yao was very happy, because Lin Yun had ultimately chosen her first. During these past few hours, she had experienced joy she had never known before. Moreover, she discovered that her nine-tailed celestial fox origin was truly strengthening. So, her gaze towards Lin Yun was filled with obedience and longing. Lin Yun crooked his finger. Su Yao obediently nestled into his embrace, as expected of the heavenly fragrance demon empress. Truly fragrant. Sometimes, Lin Yun felt the air was filled with a sweet, cloying aroma. How is it? Lin Yun gently lifted her chin, looking at her rosy, pretty face. MHM, I can already feel the progress. Su Yao blushed. Her foxy eyes were full of love. She was madly in love with this man now. She even suddenly felt that immortal ascension might not be so important anymore. She wanted to be with this man forever. Su Yao realized she seemed to have fallen in love. She had truly fallen in love with him. Since ancient times, stories of fox demons have been passed down. They were not unfounded. Fox demons were actually the most deeply affectionate. Once they fell in love, it was a bond of life and death, never to be parted. Su Yao, unable to control her emotions, rubbed her face against Lin Yun's chest. Young Master Yun, I feel like I've fallen for you. What should I do? Her voice was soft and sweet, delicate and charming. Su Yao's sudden confession made Lin Yun a little stunned. Had he conquered her? If you like me, then like me. I like you too. Lin Yun gave her red lips a light kiss. Su Yao, somewhat dissatisfied, hooked his neck and demanded a kiss. I mean, I love you. Su Yao gazed at Lin Yun. She didn't seem to be joking. Lin Yun had also heard about the deep affection of fox women, but he hadn't expected it to happen so quickly after she had completely dedicated herself. Had her infatuation talent been activated by him? Lin Yun looked at her adoring eyes. He couldn't help but feel a little happy in his heart. The most fulfilling thing for a man was naturally the admiration and loyalty of beautiful and outstanding women. All right, I love you too. Lin Yun embraced her waist, looking at her slender, fair swan neck and perfect figure. Lin Yun felt a stir of desire again. Young Master Yun, Su Yao's voice was sweet and cloying, as if extending an invitation. She even, involuntarily, activated her bloodline divine ability. The charm of a fox demon. Lin Yun felt like he was on drugs. Amidst the lingering fragrance of heavenly fragrance, demon Empress Su Yao, 8 delicate fox tails suddenly emerged, covering this space. Madness, continuous madness. Tireless. The two intertwined in passionate embrace. It was unknown when it began. A somewhat illusory ninth tail seemed to be slowly solidifying. Su Yao was close to success, so she worked even harder. But she was also very obedient, completely handing over the initiative to young Master Yin. Utterly submissive, extreme tenderness and sweetness. Lin Yun felt himself being sublimated as well. It was unknown how much time had passed. The phantom of the ninth tail had become increasingly solid. Su Yao felt like she was about to collapse. She finally started to beg for mercy. Outside the palace, Silver Moon seemed a little unhappy. She naturally knew what was happening inside. But in reality, this was also normal. After all, the Demon Empress was first. Although she felt that, in terms of appearance and beauty, she wasn't much inferior. She also had wings. She had tails too, and fluffy ears. Although she didn't have Tian Xiang, but she was cool and comfortable to hold. So even though Silver Moon was a little unconvinced, she didn't dare to show it. Her many Demon King colleagues, seeing her icy expression, all avoided bothering her. They gathered in 2s and 3s around the perimeter. Some even returned directly to the depths of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. Master, I can't take it anymore. Can I ask Silver Moon to come in? Su Yao said softly. Her voice was incredibly gentle and sweet. I'm going to cultivate. I feel like I'm close to succeeding. Su Yao felt as if her bloodline power had suddenly received the favor of some mysterious force. In an instant, it boiled over. The ancient power from the nine-tailed celestial fox clan was awakening. As long as the ninth tail successfully materialized, she could directly enter the Ascension realm. At that time, she could achieve immortal ascension. All right. Lin Yun gently patted her back. Will this humble maid/slave girl still be your woman after I ascend? Su Yao was not in a hurry to call Silver Moon to share the burden. Instead, she wanted to linger for a while. She felt a little anxious and insecure now. Su Yao felt Lin Yun's crazy affection for her, but she was still a little anxious and insecure. She always felt that this man was too mysterious, too powerful. The more she interacted with him, the more she felt this man was unfathomable. Su Yao also knew that she might have been subtly influenced by some mysterious power, but she didn't mind. She liked it very much. Su Yao knew that she had completely and utterly fallen in love with this man. The heavenly fragrance demon empress was even willing to die for him, let alone do other things. She could be shameless, forgo all dignity. She just wanted to be with him. Lin Yun felt inexplicably heavy-hearted. Such love, he felt a little ashamed himself. But wasn't this passionate emotion from such a demoness exactly what he wanted? Su Yao, listen carefully. You will always be my woman. You, for all generations, are mine. Are you satisfied? Lin Yun said, domineeringly, pinching her fair and tender chin. This humble maid/slave girl will forever be your humble maid/slave girl. Su Yao was satisfied. Only then did she call Silver Moon. The somewhat annoyed Silver Moon outside heard the Demon Empress sister's telepathic message. She froze instantly. Again? Was he made of iron? It had already been several days. Silver Moon inexplicably thought of Yao Shirshir's petite figure. No wonder she needed to bring two maids. Silver Moon's face flushed. But would she refuse? Of course not. The wolf race was also a Yao race with an ancient bloodline legacy. The Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf was the origin of her bloodline. So she was also very much looking forward to her own transformation now. Watching the silver-haired girl walk towards him, Lin Yun's lips curved into an evil, charming smile. Her figure seemed even taller, but not as plump as Tian Xiang. Silver Moon, drenched in fragrant sweat, her silvery hair wet and clinging to her forehead and chest. Will you be jealous? Lin Yun gently patted her small head. How can a humble maid/slave girl be qualified to be jealous? Silver Moon rolled her eyes. Having said that, she directly turned around, her back to Lin Yun. Lin Yun laughed heartily. He forcefully turned her around, making her look at him. It's not enough yet. You need to work hard. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to achieve immortal ascension. You know? Don't say I don't want you then. Lin Yun said fiercely. Chapter 98. Silver Moon's Transformation. Silver Moon Wolf. Another 7 days passed. During this time, Su Yao even came for 2 days. Both women served with all their heart and soul. It could be said they used every method and knowledge they possessed. Things they could think of and things they couldn't. From a human race side and from the Yao race side. All sorts of special pleasures. Lin Yun's chaos divine body actually became a bit weak. How incredible this was. His current recovery progress had reached 95%. The remaining 5% would probably only be achieved by successfully undergoing tribulation, becoming a true immortal body. Only then would it be possible to completely transform to 100%. At that time, although Lin Yun would be the lowest tier true immortal, even a heavenly immortal would not be his opponent. If he fought with all his might, he could even contend with an immortal lord. True immortal, heavenly immortal, immortal lord, immortal king, immortal emperor, supreme emperor, eternal great emperor. The immortal realm storyline will unfold soon, and the realms should be easy to distinguish. Inside, Tianxiang Palace, Snow White frosty wings suddenly appeared out of thin air, and in an instant, they filled the entire view. Silver Moon's evolution had finally begun. Lin Yun's handsome face actually showed a hint of weakness. He had been overworked during this period. However, hard work pays off. He finally managed to forcefully guide these two to the threshold of the Ascension realm. Although Silver Moon's realm hadn't yet advanced, she already possessed the potential for ascension. As long as she continued to cultivate slowly, she would eventually reach the Ascension realm. At that time, she would likely be able to synchronize with Yao Shirshir. To repay little medical immortal, Lin Yun could be said to have sacrificed his own purity. Of course, he was taking advantage while still playing innocent. Su Yao and Silver Moon, Even in the Yao realm were top-tier Yao maidens. They could be called the little celestial maidens of the Yao race. It could be said he got a good deal. The talent and potential of the two women should have no bottleneck below the immortal king. Beyond that, they would need other opportunities, such as the legacy power within their clans. Looking at Silver Moon, who at this moment even appeared somewhat sacred, Lin Yun's heart was also filled with a sense of accomplishment. She looked somewhat familiar. Those pure white wings, wasn't this like Angel Mon? The corners of Lin Yun's mouth involuntarily curved upwards slightly. These two women were now both his heart's darlings, making him somewhat reluctant to leave. These past few days have been day and night. Fortunately, the two women did not disappoint him, using all their skills. Young Master Yun, I really succeeded. The Frost Demon Wolf clan should now be the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf. The aura emanating from Silver Moon was even somewhat sacred, just like the pure moonlight in the sky. Silver Moon's face was full of pleasant surprise, but her gaze towards Lin Yun was filled with love. After so many days of intimacy and shamelessness, the two had long since become inseparable. If, under these circumstances, he still couldn't completely conquer her heart, Lin Yun felt he would have wasted all these years. With his sweet words and the assistance of his chaos divine body, Silver Moon now had Lin Yun occupying her entire mind. She had completely and utterly regarded herself as Lin Yun's humble maid/slave girl. This humble one is so happy. Silver Moon's face was somewhat sacred, but her words were full of temptation. This humble one is your big puppy. Silver Moon rubbed her cheek against Lin Yun's palm. Don't be like that. You are the noble Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf. Although Lin Yun felt a strange sensation in his heart, he still corrected her. He didn't want his woman to be so humble. All right, this humble one is your Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf. Silver Moon seemed to have adopted a certain mindset deeply. Lin Yun had no choice. Tell me, do you have any special talents? Lin Yun was a bit curious. He knew the talents of the nine-tailed Celestial Fox clan. Ultimately, it was an exceptionally powerful mental energy. Su Yao's divine soul was very strong. Her divine abilities leaned towards mind control, such as charm, and even precognition of the future. Her most powerful attacks were also soul attacks. Speaking of which, it wasn't weak. But the drawbacks were also very obvious. She would be finished in close combat. Moreover, her attacks were easily countered. For example, if she encountered a powerful soul defense magic treasure, she would be helpless. She could only be at the mercy of others. So Lin Yun was still a bit worried about Su Yao. Silver Moon thought carefully. She knew this was the time to demonstrate her potential. Otherwise, she might not be able to keep up with young Master's pace in the future. In that case, she would be destined to live out her life in solitude. After having young Master Yun, she would never look at any other stinky man again in this life. I, to use your human race's words, might be a close-range mage. Silver Moon organized her words, speaking cautiously. Close-range mage? Lin Yun was stunned. Was there such a term in this world? But it was indeed quite fitting. This humble one's physical body is very strong. Her close combat speed is very fast, and she has sharp claws. She can also use various weapons. Then, this humble one also has various Ice Frost Divine ability attacks. Many bloodline legacies have inexplicably appeared in my sea of consciousness. I need to slowly comprehend them. Silver Moon leaned against Lin Yun's chest, slowly explaining the characteristics of her legacy. Lin Yun also gradually understood. Indeed, she was from a powerful Yao Emperor race. Speaking of which, she and Su Yao truly complemented each other. Su Yao's mental control, combined with her sharp attacks, even against opponents 1 or 2 realms higher, they would have the power to fight. If they included the former golden-winged Yao Emperor, they would truly be invincible. Lin Yun now also realized that many Yao race members in this 10,000 Demon Mountain range seemed extraordinary. This made him somewhat curious. So many Yao race members with excellent bloodlines. Why would they be cooped up together in such a lower realm? The word cage inexplicably surfaced in Lin Yun's mind. Perhaps this world was somewhat unique. Lin Yun's palm unconsciously slid gently across Silver Moon's back. Young Master Yun, I still want more. Silver Moon suddenly said in a somewhat coquettish tone. My hair can now turn black. Want to try? Silver Moon seemed eager to try. Lin Yun was taken aback. Oh, then you try it. Under Lin Yun's surprised gaze, Silver Moon's snow-white hair suddenly transformed into an ink-black color in an instant. Just like a delicate and proud human race maiden. She lost a bit of her cold allure, but she looked even more like a noble ice goddess. How is it? Does it look good? Silver Moon asked with some nervousness and anticipation. In this state, my magic power actually weakens a bit. Oh, then don't use this state in the future, Lin Yun said with some indulgence. Besides you, young master, I won't let anyone else see me like this. Silver Moon nodded obediently. This was a privilege exclusive to young Master Yun, because in this state, she was actually very vulnerable. Besides this man who had completely won her heart, no one else had this qualification. Lin Yun liked this kind of exclusive privilege. Immediately, his heart, which had cooled down a bit, became hot again. Now, with the changed model, the feeling should also be different, right? Lin Yun was somewhat eager to try. Looking at the eager young Master Yun, Silver Moon smiled, a very beautiful smile with 2 small dimples. The silver mark on her forehead flickered slightly, somewhat enchanting, but it only added to her charm. I love you so much. Silver Moon tilted her head, her long hair fluttering, and said this. Lin Yun didn't have time to respond. Chapter 99, the first Demon King, is already an immortal? Because he had tasted the marrow, Tianxiang Palace, though it had been delaying, finally drifted slowly into the depths of the 10,000 demon mountain range. When the demon Empress Tianxiang reappeared before the numerous great demons, all of them were startled. The demon Empress seemed even more beautiful, and it was clear that her cultivation had advanced significantly. What has the demon Empress been doing these past few days? How could she have improved so remarkably in such a short time, as if she had consumed a spirit pill of wondrous efficacy? How could they know of Su Yao's hardships? In Lin Yun's words, both women were like juicers, and he was the one who truly toiled. And when Silver Moon Demon King appeared, all the great demons were stunned. Silver Moon Demon King seemed to have achieved a breakthrough. Their Yao race was more sensitive to the perception of strength, because, generally speaking, it depended on the bloodline power. The stronger the bloodline power, the higher the potential. This was a well-known consensus. Of course, there were also those who defied heaven and changed their fate with humble origins. Even a blade of grass or a lotus could potentially become a demon empress or demon emperor, but that was already an ancient legend. Looking at Silver Moon's current state, it was already a foregone conclusion that she would be the next demon empress. Immediately after, a scene that caused their pupils to quake with shock appeared. When Lin Yun's figure emerged, their most respected demon empress and Silver Moon Demon King both bowed slightly. The 2 great demons at this moment seemed to have transformed into demure little women, clinging to their man. Although they had long known of this prodigious young man's power, they hadn't expected him to have conquered both the demon Empress Tianxiang and Silver Moon Demon King. The numerous great demons were not blind. This scene was too obvious. Clearly, good things had happened in the palace these past few days, which explained their advanced cultivation. The numerous great demons exchanged glances, all suppressing the jealousy in their hearts, while some female demon kings even felt a bit of envy. However, in the Yao race, the most beautiful were the fox demons and wolf demons, and of course some flower demons were also quite attractive, all conforming to human aesthetics. Greetings, immortal venerable sir. Greetings, demon empress. The numerous great demons respectfully bowed and saluted, and without prior agreement, they all placed Lin Yun first, clearly indicating their stance. As for Silver Moon Demon King, she hadn't ascended to power yet. The hierarchy of the Yao race was very strict. Lin Yun nodded slightly. Accustomed to being above others, Lin Yun handled such minor scenes with ease. At this moment, he had effectively become the uncrowned king of the 10,000 demon mountain range. Just then, an old man in linen clothes suddenly appeared. All the great demons looked at the old man in shock. The first demon emperor. He had actually appeared. The true demon emperor of the 10,000 demon mountain range. The most ancient demon emperor. Some even said that he was the only true king, but he had not concerned himself with worldly affairs for many years. This was why Jin Huangtian had been able to act so imperiously. Venerable sir, it is an honor to have you grace us with your presence. This old man failed to greet you properly. Please forgive me. The first demon emperor seemed very respectful. This scene made the numerous great demons widen their eyes even further. Lin Yun also narrowed his eyes slightly. He hadn't expected the other party to come to him so proactively. He hadn't even gone to find him yet. Why was this? Something out of the ordinary must be due to mischief. So he wanted to see what kind of trickery was involved. Lin Yun always felt that he seemed to have formed some karma with the Yao race. Of course, he had taken the finest among the royal bloodline of the Yao race into his chambers, and he had taken 2 at once. This karma was indeed significant. One could say that Lin Yun was now equivalent to the son-in-law of the Yao race. By then, even in the upper realm, there would certainly be many troubles seeking him out. This is the demon core of the golden-winged demon emperor. It is a small gift, not much, but I hope you'll accept it. Before everyone could react, the old man in linen clothes waved his hand, and a large golden medicinal pill appeared before him, emitting a dazzling golden light. All the Yao race members involuntarily swallowed their saliva. This thing was truly a treasure for their Yao race. It was no less valuable than the 9 revolutions creation golden core Lin Yun had obtained before. It could directly grant them the potential to become a demon emperor. Lin Yun was also a bit surprised. He beckoned, and the demon core floated directly before him. Lin Yun took it in his hand, feeling the majestic demonic power within it. Even if he refined it himself, he could convert a considerable amount of origin power from it. However, for him, it was merely a drop in the bucket. Moreover, he was about to achieve ascension, so he didn't lack this little bit. But for Silver Moon, this item was just right. It could perfectly complete her years of cultivation. However, if this happened, would she ascend while Yao Shishir had not yet? Lin Yun pondered for a while, deciding that he should trust his women. By then, they would discuss it themselves and surely leave a contingency. The women he favored naturally weren't foolish. Lin Yun was confident in this regard. Silver Moon's eyes also held a hint of fervent desire, but she remained silent, not speaking proactively. She didn't even look at it, only glimpsing it once before forcefully suppressing the longing in her heart. She knew that such a thing could only be granted by young Master Yun's will. He could give it, but she could not ask for it. After Lin Yun made up his mind, he directly handed the golden great demon emperor pill to Silver Moon Demon King under everyone's watchful eyes. Here, this thing might be useful to you. Lin Yun's nonchalant demeanor made it seem as if this was just an ordinary medicinal pill, but this was the lifelong cultivation of a demon emperor who was once even more powerful than Su Yao. And not just any ordinary demon emperor, but a top-tier demon emperor with a bloodline of the golden-winged Great Peng. It could be said that Silver Moon, having obtained the Great Demon Emperor pill, now held a status equivalent to a demon emperor. Even Su Yao felt a bit envious, but she knew that Silver Moon needed it more than she did. So she was merely a little envious. Both of them were now young Master Yun's women. While they could bicker and compete in daily life, on matters of principle, they naturally stood united and harmonious. The old man in linen clothes couldn't help but have his eyes flicker slightly. This human race prodigy was truly interesting. Moreover, the chi on his body, even with his current close observation, he couldn't fathom, but he could confirm that the other party was truly a son of destiny. He had directly broken the curse of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. He could now see that both Su Yao and Silver Moon already possessed the potential for immortal ascension, especially the Demon Empress Tian Xiang, who had reached the critical point of breakthrough to the Ascension realm. This also meant that it wouldn't be long before he, too, could be free. To imprison 10,000 demons with the Yao race's own power, how cruel was that? As a Yao race senior supreme, his heart suffered daily. So naturally, he had no mood to deal with external affairs, always secluding himself in the deep mountains and old forests. However, both demon empresses were also nurtured by him in silence. He had even secretly brought in their royal bloodline, which took 10,000 years to hatch and gestate successfully. Now it was finally harvest season. Human race venerable, may I borrow a moment to speak? The old man in linen clothes' voice was somewhat aged, but all the Yao race members present respected him immensely. Lin Yun nodded, bidding farewell to the two women. Their figures flickered, instantly disappearing before the numerous great demons. In the deepest part of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range, at the edge of a verdant deep pool, a simple stone table and stone stools were set. Lin Yun and the old man in linen clothes sat opposite each other. This old man is known as the first demon emperor in the outside world, but do you know who I am? Before each of them was a jade cup. The liquid within was emerald green, like a jade elixir, emitting a rich fragrance. Lin Yun felt his ears and eyes clear upon smelling the fragrance, and his magic power seemed to become active. This was a good thing. This old demon emperor indeed had an extraordinary background. Lin Yun didn't waste words. After directly drinking it all, he felt the joy of every cell in his physical body. His realm seemed to have improved somewhat. He glanced at the cup before the other party, and Lin Yun's gaze shifted slightly. If you like it, take it. The old man in linen clothes' face twitched slightly. This human race junior seemed a bit shameless. Then I won't be polite. Lin Yun then unceremoniously took it and drank it all. At this moment, Lin Yun felt that he was getting closer and closer to the critical point of ascension to the immortal realm. If he added the Yao family's golden core, he feared he would soon be unable to suppress the pull of ascension. May I ask, Senior, what is the purpose of your visit? Since Lin Yun had received such a great benefit from him, he naturally reciprocated now. I am Venerable Yu Shui, Netherwater, of the Yao race. Junior, you are indeed correct to call me Senior. The old man in linen clothes smiled mysteriously. Lin Yun frowned. I respect the old and cherish the young. I call you Senior, But why are you acting so condescendingly? He was feeling a bit displeased in his heart. Immediately after, his eyes widened because a powerful aura arose from the old man, though it flashed and disappeared quickly, but still startled old Devil Lin. He was actually an immortal. Lin Yun had only felt this kind of aura from Empress Ancestral Master. There was an immortal in the lower realm. Who was he? Chapter 100. Offended the immortal emperor before becoming an immortal? Lin Yun's eyes trembled. His heart was filled with apprehension and uncertainty. Senior, what is this? He asked cautiously. Damn it. How did he run into another big shot like this in the lower realm? Old Devil Lin's philosophy was to avoid confrontation, especially with such an old thing. He couldn't afford to provoke him. The old man in linen clothes, who was Venerable Yu Shui, Netherwater, of the Yao race. Seeing Lin Yun's attitude, he was somewhat surprised. Wasn't he very unruly just now? It seemed there was a reason why this kid could achieve great things. This adaptable demeanor was something many geniuses and prodigies couldn't achieve. In the upper realm, there was no shortage of geniuses. But no matter how much of a genius you were, if you encountered an old ancestor who had cultivated for hundreds of thousands of years, you would still be buried on the spot. Young friend, there's no need for such formality. This is just an incarnation of mine. The old man in linen clothes waved his hand. Lin Yun was startled. Just an incarnation? Then why were you acting so arrogant? Old Devil Lin immediately squinted at him. An incarnation? Huh? Then what do you want with me? This lord is very busy, you know. Also, from now on, I call the shots in the 10,000 Demon Mountain range. Do you have any objections? Lin Yun stopped pretending and laid his cards on the table. The old man in linen clothes mouth twitched involuntarily. He retracted his previous thought. This kid was the type who didn't know his place. But he wasn't here to argue with him today. He paused. The old man in linen clothes finally composed himself. The 10,000 Demon Mountain range, do you know what kind of place it is? Lin Yun assumed an attentive expression. It is indeed a paradise for the Yao race. But have you ever wondered why there is such a prosperous Yao race holy land in the lower realm? This was also a question that greatly puzzled Lin Yun. Generally speaking, most of the Yao race in the lower realm were not yet established. To put it bluntly, they were all mortal Yao whose bones were taken for alchemy by humans. There were hardly any legendary bloodlines. But the 10,000 Demon Mountain range seemed different. As soon as he entered, he had already sensed various legendary races. So what secrets did it hold? Senior, please speak freely. Lin Yun said indifferently. The old man in linen clothes was also a bit speechless. Why did it seem like he was the one eagerly approaching? But it did seem to be the case. This place is actually a prison. The old man in linen clothes paused, then said in a heavy tone. Lin Yun's heart tightened. Indeed, it was surprisingly similar to his guess. You're not surprised at all? The old man asked, seeing Lin Yun's calm demeanor. What's there to be surprised about? To be honest, I'd already guessed it. Besides, what does it have to do with me? My women will ascend anyway. Lin Yun didn't want to meddle in others' affairs. Anyway, Su Yao, Yin Yu, and the others would all ascend and leave. Upon hearing this, the old man in linen clothes showed a meaningful expression. Do you really think this doesn't concern you? Lin Yun frowned slightly. Why did he feel like he had fallen into a trap? Senior, please speak plainly. If you need my help, I certainly won't refuse. Lin Yun spoke beautifully. After all, he had taken two peerless Yao race beauties. It was only right to do something. A son-in-law had to be busy when visiting for the first time. Then do you know that if it weren't for you, they would never have had the chance to ascend and become immortals? The old man in linen clothes stroked his beard and said meaningfully. Lin Yun frowned, as if he understood something. Was it because of his arrival that certain taboos were broken? Senior, do you mean that because of me, they gained the opportunity to ascend? And thus, some arrangements were changed? Lin Yun made no attempt to hide his questions. Since he had the opportunity now, and this old man seemed relatively benevolent, it was naturally better to clarify things. The youth is teachable. The old man in linen clothes now looked at Lin Yun with more favor. This kid's comprehension ability was really good. He understood with just a hint. So smart. No wonder he could cultivate to a realm that even he couldn't see through. He still couldn't figure out the depth of this kid's strength, but he always felt that he had a connection with the Yao race. So, the matter of defiling the two great royal bloodlines of the Yao race could be overlooked. Perhaps it was even a fated connection, or rather, he had already become entangled with the destiny of the Yao race. Then, what were the implications? Lin Yun pondered, somewhat unable to understand. For now, there are no implications. There are many such prisons, and not just for the Yao race. The old man in linen clothes' gaze was profound, as if recalling some heavy memories. Oh, then what will be the implications in the future? Lin Yun keenly noticed that the other party was talking about the present. Since he specifically brought up this matter, it certainly couldn't be groundless. Lin Yun didn't want to get into big trouble before even ascending. Having an immortal emperor ancestral master chasing him was already enough of a headache. He didn't even know that the Tai Su Sacred Dragon clan, even more troublesome than the immortal emperor ancestral master, was also looking for him. There will be some trouble, but it mainly depends on your excellency's choice. Let me ask you, if Tian Xiang and Yin are in trouble, will you stand by and do nothing? The old man in linen clothes seemed to already know the answer, so his eyes held a hint of amusement. Lin Yun frowned and remained silent. Of course, he wouldn't stand by and do nothing when it came to his women. Of course, I won't ignore them. They are my women. Let me see who dares. Lin Yun said in a chilling tone. Senior, stop testing me. Just tell me what's going on. I'll bear it all. As the saying goes, lust is a blade over one's head. Since he couldn't control his lower half, then he had to bear the karma that came with it. Moreover, he didn't regret it. The pleasure with Su Yao and Yin was worth it. These two peerless Yao race beauties opened a new world for Lin Yun. So Lin Yun was willing to bear alone. Besides, if he couldn't even protect his own women, what was the point of cultivating to immortality? Better to go home and farm spiritual rice. Lin Yun dared to forcefully defile even an immortal emperor ancestral master. He was truly audacious. Actually, it's nothing much. It's just that you might have offended a certain immortal emperor. The old man in linen clothes said it casually. Hearing this, Lin Yun's heart pounded wildly. What the hell? I haven't even ascended to immortality yet, and I've already offended an immortal emperor who can slaughter immortals like mortals, and one of the most ancient immortal emperors. The old man in linen clothes added another blow. Lin Yun's eyelids twitched. Is it too late for me to run now? What do you think? The old man said with a half smile. You don't want your women anymore? After they cultivate to immortality, they might become even more stunning. By then, they will truly captivate all beings. If you're willing to give them up, it's not impossible. At that time, this old man will find them good husbands, like immortal emperor descendants or something. That would also be a guarantee. Lin Yun's expression changed again and again. Old thing, stop provoking me. I'll do this. My women, if you dare to have any ideas about them, don't blame me for dismantling your old bones. It's just an immortal emperor. I'll kick immortal emperors around like balls in the future. Lin Yun suddenly remembered that he had the legacy of the Space Tao ancestor and the Chaos Divine Body, invincible across all realms. Moreover, that Nine Heavens Thunder Art also seemed to be an immortal emperor legacy. What was there to fear? Chapter 101, Demon Emperor Sutra, which can control all demons. All right, this old man appreciates young people with your courage. To be frank, our Yao race has countless beautiful women. When the time comes, this old man can introduce some to you. Are you interested in the 100-flower fairy, who is an immortal plant that gains sentience? Are you interested in water demons / yaos who are as gentle as water, incredibly pliable, and whose bodies can transform into water forms? This old man has also discovered something. This kid is impervious to persuasion, but he is only interested in women, and his taste is extremely picky. However, his Yao race has no shortage of femme fatale. Lin Yun's expression was a bit strange. When the other party put it that way, it did sound quite interesting. Can that water demon / Yao also transform in bed? Lin Yun's eyes lit up slightly. The old man in linen clothes' face twitched. This old man doesn't know, but you can try it yourself when the time comes. But don't blame this old man for not warning you. This water demon / Yao is an innate spirit. Your strength might not be enough. He was undoubtedly digging another pit for Lin Yun here. To obtain these beauties, one must first be powerful and also become entangled in certain karma. A smile appeared on Lin Yun's lips. Cultivating immortality, isn't it for freedom and ease? His entire life, he only sought great freedom. So, whatever he thought of, he had to try. Water demon / Yao. Lin Yun noted it down. Wet all over, inside and out, he wondered what that would feel like. Maybe it would even be transparent. Lin Yun suddenly became a little excited. But alas, he could only imagine it. Flower fairies and the like would probably be fragrant and soft. Lin Yun was truly intrigued. Perhaps he should just become a demon emperor in the future. Old thing, you still haven't said what changes will occur here after they ascend? Lin Yun put away those unrealistic thoughts. The women here were already enough to give him a headache. The old man in linen clothes' face was serious. At that time, the 10,000 Demon Mountain range will cease to exist. All true Yao race members, I will take them away. This place will then only exist in name. So, as the culprit, you will naturally be remembered. But the other party probably won't bully the weak, and it's not even certain if they will trouble you. However, you can't have a lucky mentality. Any random descendant under their command is not someone you can afford to provoke. Lin Yun's expression was a bit displeased. What do you mean, can't afford to provoke? Can't you see that this lord is also very strong? The old man in linen clothes smiled meaningfully. No matter how powerful your potential, your cultivation years are too short. This old man suggests that you first find a powerful background. Otherwise, with your personality, I'm afraid you'll break easily from being too rigid. At that time, wouldn't your women benefit others? Although the old man in linen clothes was well-intentioned, Lin Yun was displeased. All right, enough with the nonsense. I generally know what's going on. Then you don't need to worry about it. Do you have any other good things? Anyway, you're useless. Why not give them to me to transform into strength? Lin Yun was still a bit greedy for the jade liquid from earlier. The old man in linen clothes' face twitched. He had still underestimated this fellow's shamelessness. No more. That was this old man's collection of tens of thousands of years. That was the 10,000-year Earth Core spirit milk of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. I only managed to save up these 2 cups over so many years, and I gave them all to you. Lin Yun looked at his expression with some suspicion. He was half believing, half doubting. Then there's nothing else? This old man is a condemned man. What good things could he have? Lin Yun's eyes flickered. Any Yao race secret technique would do, too. You don't want me to just die, do you? I am now your Yao race's son-in-law, and perhaps even a future demon emperor. Lin Yun said shamelessly. The old man in linen clothes couldn't help but be startled. Watch your words. An emperor cannot be insulted. Just now, he suddenly had a premonition and almost died of fright. The true demon emperor had long since perished. The reason was somewhat complex. This was also the root cause of the Yao race's decline. It was even the root cause of many Yao race members being labeled as sinful blood. But when Lin Yun uttered such rebellious words, he actually seemed to have a strange intuition, as if he was truly witnessing the birth of a supreme emperor. He carefully scrutinized Lin Yun, his gaze somewhat strange. This kid wouldn't be serious, would he? If that were truly the case, then the Yao race would really have to go all out. What? You don't believe me? Lin Yun subtly revealed a trace of the chaos divine body's aura. The old man in linen clothes' expression immediately changed drastically. The supreme aura. How does it seem to contain the concept of the origin of all things? Is this why Tian Xiang and Yin, you were able to break through their realms? To gain some benefits, Lin Yun had also gone all out. He didn't hesitate to reveal a trace of his foundation. Anyway, the other party wouldn't be able to figure out what it was. How about it? Do you want to invest in this young master now? Otherwise, once this village is passed, there will be no such shop. At that time, this lord will be someone you can't afford to associate with. Lin Yun could be said to be somewhat ignorant of the immensity of heaven and earth. But the old man in linen clothes, who was venerable Yu Shui, Netherwater, fell silent, as if he was truly considering it seriously. Seeing that there was a chance, Lin Yun immediately knew that this old thing, derogatory term for Huang Lingtian, might really have something good. So he was no longer anxious. After a moment of silence, the old man in linen clothes seemed to finally make up his mind. All right, you're right. Since you are already considered a son-in-law of my Yao race, and you've also become entangled in karma, I do have something good here. I'm just afraid you wouldn't dare to take it. What? Lin Yun's heart was excited. There's nothing in this world that I wouldn't dare to take. The old man in linen clothes sneered. The Demon Emperor's former cultivation technique. Do you dare to take it? Strictly speaking, this was only the first stage of the cultivation technique, but it still contained numerous Yao race secret arts, and could even command all demons. Lin Yun swallowed his saliva. What? The Demon Emperor's cultivation technique. That would at least be on the same level as an immortal emperor, right? Yes, why not? Lin Yun had a reckless look, as if to say, if you dare to give it, I dare to take it. This is the Demon Emperor scripture. And as for the Demon/Yao Emperor scripture, that will depend on your own opportunity later. If you are fated, you can go and retrieve it yourself. The old man in linen clothes said meaningfully. Saying that, he took out an ancient, jet-black jade slip. This item was actually held by several venerables of the Yao race. They had all gained some insights from comprehending it individually, but none of them had truly cultivated it. If you fail to cultivate it, then it means you, young man, are not fated with my Yao race. If you succeed in cultivating it, from then on, you will be the true Demon Emperor. You can command all demons. No Yao race in the world would dare to disobey. The old man in linen clothes said with a solemn expression. In fact, this was also a huge gamble for him. After all, he didn't know the other party's character or reliability at the moment. But the other party was right about one thing. He was already considered a son-in-law of the Yao race. Lin Yun directly snatched the jade slip over. Less nonsense. How do you know I can't cultivate it? What Lin Yun didn't say was, this old man is the only chaos divine body, innately capable of cultivating all Tao. Chapter 102. How about it? Your man is awesome. Lin Yun didn't shy away. After getting his hands on it, he immediately sent his consciousness into the jade slip and began to read. The old man in linen clothes didn't disturb him. He just watched with flickering eyes, carefully trying to deduce again. But soon, he became disheartened. The other party seemed to have countless karmic connections that didn't affect him. He couldn't deduce any useful clues or fate at all. One must know that he was the grand priest of the Yao race, most skilled in deduction. His true form was a Saint Tortoise that had lived for countless years. This was the first time he had felt such frustration in front of Junior. This was also why he was willing to bet on Lin Yun. As the saying goes, Tao gives birth to one gives birth to two, and two gives birth to all things. The great Tao has 50, the heavenly Tao evolves 49, and one is escaped. Even the heavenly Tao is not complete, let alone all living beings. That escaped one is the variable, and the variable holds all possibilities. In the eyes of the old man in linen clothes, Lin Yun was this variable. This was an extremely risky investment, but the potential future returns could be 1,000 or even 10,000 times greater. Moreover, it was just a mere cultivation technique, not any substantial benefit. The only real investment now was two outstanding junior Yao race women. He had calculated this account clearly. But for Lin Yun, this was also a good deal. Anyway, he didn't need to pay anything now. After a long while, Lin Yun finally opened his eyes. An inexplicable light flickered within his pupils. This cultivation technique cultivated by the Demon Emperor. It truly lived up to its reputation. It was divided into two parts, upper and lower. The part he held now was the Demon Emperor scripture, which could only be cultivated up to the Immortal Emperor realm at most. But that was enough. Immortal Emperor was still too far away. Perhaps that would be another opportunity. Although Lin Yun didn't lack cultivation techniques. However, this kind of powerful, top-tier cultivation technique that could suppress the luck of an entire race. It was still worth cultivating. The Yao race was not some lowly race. It was a true, powerful race of the myriad worlds. It had once even been able to contend with the human race. Not to mention the inherent strength of the Yao race. Their reproduction speed was also the only race that could rival the human race. For the human race, the demon core and the entire body of the Yao race were treasures, under the competition between the two races. Therefore, too many grievances had also occurred between them. Lin Yun could understand some of the unpleasantness. But as a human race member, Lin Yun had no qualms. For him, he didn't care if he were human or demon. What if his woman was from the Yao race? He had transmigrated here in the first place. Although under normal circumstances, he still possessed a conscience, and was even kinder than most cultivators. But when it came to his own interests and crises, he would transform into Old Devil Lin. Little friend, how is it? Venerable Yu Shui, Netherwater, asked with some anticipation. Lin Yun frowned. This cultivation technique was more profound than any cultivation technique he had ever cultivated. It could even rival the space divine crystal. However, there were many things in it that he didn't need to learn. He was only more interested in some of the secret techniques and divine abilities within it. For example, the ability to control all demons, and the ability to disguise himself as any Yao race member. These were all essential divine abilities for traveling the Jianghu and plundering, whether it was gathering intelligence, establishing power, or escaping in an emergency. Lin Yun could imagine 10,000 scenarios for its use. Furthermore, his physical body would also become stronger. Certain abilities, he estimated, would also be enhanced. Lin Yun expressed his satisfaction with this. It's good, I've gained a little, not bad. Lin Yun nodded. He didn't hide it. He stretched out his hand, and a wisp of demonic qi actually appeared flowing from his fingertips. The old man in linen clothes had a ghost-seeing expression. So fast. Who was this kid? Even if the Demon Emperor were to be rebirth in this world, it would be impossible to get started so quickly, right? He himself had cultivated for decades before getting started. This kid understood it in a few hours. And still in a human race body. He was truly shocked, even frightened. Lin Yun saw his expression and knew that he seemed to have been careless. It seemed a bit sensational now. But since things had come to this, there was nothing he could do. Anyway, the other party shouldn't openly harm him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be polite. You are the most prodigy I have seen in my endless years. I suddenly feel now that my Yao race might make a huge profit. Also, in the future, try not to display such heaven-defying talent in front of others. Otherwise, I'm afraid they won't tolerate you. Venerable Yu Shui, Netherwater, warned him with a solemn expression. Lin Yun was also startled for a moment. I understand. Isn't this being close to your Yao race? Otherwise, do you think I'm stupid? The other party warned him so solemnly. Lin Yun also began to feel some goodwill towards this old man. All right, if there's nothing else, I'll go accompany my little wife. I'm busy. Lin Yun stood up, preparing to take his leave. Wait, take this. Lin Yun was a little surprised. Could this old man still drop gold coins? The old man in linen clothes solemnly and very carefully handed a piece of tortoise shell to Lin Yun. This is a sacred artifact of our ancestors, capable of concealing heavenly secrets. He paused, then remembered that this kid seemed to have this function inherently. You might not need it in that regard. However, this sacred artifact can also conceal your aura and cultivation realm. It's effective until Immortal Emperor. I think this should be very practical for you. He said meaningfully. Lin Yun's heart stirred, it really was. With his talent, challenging and killing those above his realm would be as simple as eating and drinking. It would definitely attract a lot of jealousy. If his true cultivation realm were seen, he was afraid there would be countless troubles. Okay, thank you, Senior. Lin Yun didn't dally either. This item was indeed too useful. It seemed he had gained the acknowledgement of this old immortal. Lin Yun also had a rough idea of his heaven-defying aptitude in his heart. His chaos physique hadn't even fully recovered yet, and it was already so heaven-defying. Wouldn't he soar after immortal ascension? Lin Yun was very much looking forward to it. Go. Olmi won't disturb you young people anymore. Perhaps we will meet again someday, if fate allows. The old man and the young man stood by the deep pool, looking at each other. Both nodded silently. For Lin Yun, this was an opportunity. But at the same time, the responsibility on his shoulders seemed to have subtly increased by a fraction. But no matter what, it was an unexpected gain. Lin Yun looked at the tortoise shell in his hand. The method of use was very simple. Just inject spiritual power. Lin Yun immediately found that he was like an ordinary person. It wasn't just a simple turtle breath art or an illusion, but genuinely concealed. It was truly a good item. Lin Yun was quite satisfied and also felt grateful. His figure flickered. He arrived at Qinxiang Palace. Under Su Yao's sudden surprise, he directly wrapped his arm around her waist and leaned down to kiss her. Su Yao was initially startled, but after feeling young Master Yun's aura, she immediately obediently parted her jade teeth, allowing him to save her. Lin Yun was naturally not polite at all. He even revealed a trace of demonic qi, which greatly surprised Su Yao and made her even more submissive and docile. Her gauze skirt slipped directly, revealing her endlessly beautiful and charming back. Lin Yun carried her towards the bed deep inside. As the saying goes, the phoenix and dragon were intertwined at this moment. The beautiful scenery and auspicious time are now. Who knows how long passed? Su Yao's several snowy white foxtails, all 9 of them, wrapped around Lin Yun, like a soft cloud bed. The two snuggled together within it. Su Yao was dripping with fragrant sweat. She already possessed the Tian Xiang physique, and now her fragrance became even more intense. Her long, beautiful hair was wet and clung to her chest. She was incomparably alluring. Snuggling in front of Lin Yun, her slender jade fingers drew circles on his chest. How did you learn my Yao race's cultivation technique? Did he teach it to you? Su Yao's heart was filled with surprise and joy. In this way, she loved this man even more. Lin Yun proudly lifted her delicate chin. How about it? Isn't your man amazing? Lin Yun said with a mischievous smile. Su Yao's face flushed. I'm going to die. She playfully glared at Lin Yun, infinitely shy, making Lin Yun feel a surge of desire just by looking at her. This ultimate femme fatale. She was his woman. Let Sister Yin come over. This concubine. Su Yao didn't have time to speak before her small mouth was blocked again. Chapter 103, Su Yao and Yin Yu's Anxiety. A hearty, satisfying battle. Lin Yun was content. He wondered if it was just his imagination. He felt as if his combat power had increased after cultivating this demon emperor scripture. It was too demonic, truly demonic. He stayed in the 10,000 Demon Mountain range for another 3 days, which meant he had battled for 3 days and 3 nights at Jade Gate Pass. Although Lin Yun was enjoying himself immensely, he knew that he had to go back. It had already been 10 days since he left the Yao family. However, because Lin Yun, their most formidable and relied upon member, had not returned, many matters were put on hold. Even old Master Yao's funeral had not yet taken place. But now, the Yao family was bustling with guests. Major immortal sects and noble families, and even the rumored strongest holy land, White Jade Capital, had sent their grand elders to lead delegations. This terrified everyone. White Jade Capital's status here was akin to that of the Grand Emperor of the entire cultivation world. Even the Tianyuan realm, where Lin Yun once roamed, didn't have such an authoritative holy land. Perhaps it did before. Their Yin-Yang sacred sect was such a holy land before it was labeled a demonic sect. However, despite the arrival of so many distinguished guests, they could only remain at the Yao family because Lin Yun was absent. Their purpose was simple, to meet this senior of the Ascension realm. Lin Yun was currently the only publicly active Ascension realm powerhouse. Moreover, based on their judgment, he might even be in the late stage of the Ascension realm. He was an Ascension Realm cultivator at his peak. Judging by his recent actions and attitude, he didn't seem like a half-baked cultivator who dared not undergo tribulation and ascend. Instead, he was definitely the type who would ascend to immortality. Therefore, in the eyes of many cultivators, the Yao family's son-in-law was already the undisputed strongest in the world. Even if there were others of the same realm within the Holy Lands, they would most likely not be a match for this vigorous and peak state Yao family son-in-law. In the deepest part of the Yao family's backyard, by Yao and Qin Xiu, the two maidservants were combing Yao Shishir's hair. Ever since she got together with Lin Yun, Yao Shishir rarely wore her hair down. Instead, she started to pin it up. Like a married woman in the mortal world, she would at least tie her hair up. This way, people would know at a glance that she had a husband. Yao Shishir still looked somewhat youthful. Her figure was delicate and petite. She looked only in her teens, but with her hair pinned up, she exuded a certain charm. Her beautiful eyes were full of spring breeze. If Lin Yun were to see her, he would probably immediately feel a surge of desire. Is there any news of young Master Yun from the outside world? These past few days, Yao Shishir seemed to have suddenly matured. She was no longer indecisive or naive. With her grandfather's passing and her uncle's execution, some past events gradually surfaced. Yao Shishir hadn't been idle these past few days either. She directly purged her uncle's entire lineage, leaving no one alive. Backed by Lin Yun's immense power, the Yao family did not voice the slightest objection. All the collateral branches cooperated fully. Reporting, young miss, not yet. There's nothing unusual in the 10,000 Demon Mountain range either. Moreover, that's deep within the 10,000 Demon Mountain range, so even if something happened, it would be difficult for news to spread. Bai Yao and Qin Xiu explained, one after another. The two maidservants, having received Lin Yun's affection, had become even more radiant. They were no less beautiful than the saintesses of the immortal sex. They had both been nourished by the essence of Lin Yun's chaos divine body, so their physiques had undergone some degree of change. They might even have a chance at immortal ascension in the future. Although Lin Yun hadn't thought of a good solution yet, he certainly wouldn't forget the two of them. He wouldn't abandon those who were just a fleeting encounter for a night of passion. These were his personal maids with whom he spent many nights of revelry. Naturally, he would not abandon them. Deep within the 10,000 Demon Mountain range, a palace suddenly flew out. It was Qinxiang Palace. Lin Yun was returning to the Yao family. Heavenly Fragrance Demon Empress, Su Yao, and Silver Moon were naturally extremely reluctant to part. So, they followed him out directly. Anyway, their 10,000 Demon Mountain range also needed to sign an agreement with the Yao family. Going together made sense. Lin Yun also gladly agreed. This journey, of course, was full of joy. Why not indulge in it? When Su Yao first brought it up, she was a bit nervous and anxious, because that was the territory of the Yao family's young miss. Su Yao didn't want to conflict with her. She also didn't know whose position was more important in young Master Yun's heart, so she didn't dare to take risks. Otherwise, it would definitely be her fault. After all, that young miss of the Yao family had shown kindness to young Master Yun first, and she had been intimate with young Master Yun before Su Yao. With Su Yao's foxy wisdom, she naturally wouldn't make such a low-level mistake. Silver Moon thought the same. Both women were demonesses. Frankly, they both felt a bit inferior. Normally, they were incredibly proud in front of humans. But in front of a true human race prodigy like young Master Yun, they were still a bit lacking in confidence. Although young Master Yun showed his deep affection for them, they still felt a sense of anxiety about gain and loss. Lin Yun's presence had truly entered their hearts and taken root. They could no longer live without young Master Yun. They wanted to be together with young Master Yun for the rest of their lives. Even the thought of immortal ascension had faded significantly. It was somewhat like being too attached to the mortal world and lacking ambition. But young Master Yun was destined to ascend to immortality. So, they also had to work hard. It was just that the direction of their efforts was a bit unique. It left Lin Yun exhausted, and then transformed into their own innate potential. Ye was tireless, but old Devil Lin was starting to feel the strain. One day, Lin Yun came to the highest point of the palace. He was casually draped in a luxurious black and gold robe, exposing his muscular chest. A belt was tied around his waist. Su Yao wore a pink gauze dress, her graceful figure faintly visible. Her long hair cascaded down as she leaned against Lin Yun, extending her delicate, lotus-like arm, her slender hand gently stroking his chest. Young Master Yun, will that seventh miss dislike us? Su Yao felt a little uncertain. Yes, you must speak well of us. Silver Moon hugged him from behind, her chest pressed tightly against his back. She wore a very light white dress. Her figure was tall and graceful. Her silver hair emitted an alluring luster. Silver Moon had now evolved to her limit. She was incomparably beautiful. Just looking at her appearance, she was in no way inferior to the heavenly fragrance demon empress. However, as a nine-tailed celestial fox, Su Yao possessed an innate charm and allure that other races could not learn. But Silver Moon's icy temperament also made Lin Yun dote on her. The two women were like ice and fire. They immersed Lin Yun in pleasure, making him forget to return home. He now understood why some old monsters were so unwilling to take risks. This kind of life was even more enjoyable than that of true immortals. Lin Yun even felt like he had lost a few pounds. Chapter 104 Returning to the Yao family to take charge. Hearing the two women's concerns, Lin Yun found it a bit amusing. Why did this feel like a palace drama? Little medical immortal shouldn't be that kind of woman. She was very obedient. However, Lin Yun's concerns were exactly the opposite of Su Yao and the others. He was more worried that little medical immortal would be sad and upset. After all, she was so pure and kind. Perhaps she wouldn't show any displeasure in front of him. She might even accept it calmly. But deep down, she might feel uncomfortable. If that were the case, Lin Yun would feel sorry for her. Lin Yun had genuine feelings for little medical immortal. It was during his most desperate time. Little medical immortal never left him, although that period wasn't long. But for Lin Yun, it was also a very unforgettable experience. Inside that carriage, Lin Yun was like a cripple, unable to move his hands or speak. It was all due to the close care of little medical immortal and the two maidservants. Only then could he recover so quickly. Thinking of this, Lin Yun looked into the distance. She is a younger sister. You must be considerate of her. She is the one I worry about the most. Lin Yun said frankly. He wasn't afraid that these two enchantresses would be jealous or anything. If they couldn't even tolerate little medical immortal, Lin Yun wouldn't have any feelings for them either. The initial intention of accepting them was to protect little medical immortal. Although Lin Yun now felt that these two enchantresses were also quite good, he had also begun to genuinely accept them. But their status, compared to little medical immortal, was still somewhat inferior. Of course, they were all his women. Lin Yun treated them all equally to some extent. Hearing this, Su Yao also understood something, although she was a little envious of that seventh miss. But she didn't have any thoughts of jealousy or the like. She just pressed her delicate cheek against Lin Yun's chest and rubbed it, as if expressing her favor and feelings in this way. After I leave, you must treat her well. Leave some trustworthy great demons to guard the Yao family. Lin Yun instructed in advance again. Yes, we understand. Su Yao was obedient. Envied didn't speak. She just hugged him even tighter. Lin Yun looked at the distant horizon. He seemed to see the route he took from a myriad demon forest to the Yao family. This journey was also the path of his true rise. The revival of the chaos divine body meant that he truly had the qualifications to stand on the same starting line as those imperial sons, even far surpassing them. Lin Yun was about to ascend, and he was actually a little nervous. After all, that was another vast and unfamiliar world. However, he also had expectations in his heart. Empress Ancestral Master, he missed her. This was the most unforgettable woman for Lin Yun. Lin Yun was infatuated with her, and also felt guilty towards her. Empress Ancestral Master was completely controlled and forced by Lin Yun. She was ambushed by him. She was so beautiful and noble. Recalling those days in the secret chamber, Lin Yun's heart inexplicably grew hot again. Su Yao. Lin Yun embraced Su Yao beside him. He held her in front of him, their foreheads, full of affection, pressed together. A deep, breathless long kiss. It was as if their minds were in turmoil and their emotions were lost. Lin Yun gently patted Su Yao's little head. Su Yao seemed to understand something. Her eyes were full of love. She loved young Master Yun to death, willing to give everything, just to make him happy. Envied came to Lin Yun's side, taking Su Yao's place. Tianxiang Palace flew rapidly towards the Yao family, like a shooting star, fleeting in an instant. Yao family courtyard. Have those guests been well-behaved recently? Yao Shishir asked softly. Reporting to young Miss, they have all been very well-behaved. They wouldn't dare to offend young Master Yun. Bai Yao puffed out her chest a little proudly. Yes, how could they dare? Qingqiu also said so. In the eyes of the two little maids, young Master Yun was heaven. He was their everything. Even if they were asked to die, they wouldn't hesitate in the slightest. Yao Shishir's lips curved into a smile. You too. Are you also missing him? Hearing this, both women's faces reddened slightly. In front of Seventh Miss, they dare not lie. Both nodded shyly. I miss him too. When will Brother Yun return? Yao Shishir's face was full of longing. She knew that young Master Yun wouldn't have much time left in the lower realm. Naturally, she hoped to spend one more day with him if possible. Just then, a very familiar, slightly mischievous voice sounded in the ears of the women. I heard you say you missed me. Lin Yun's figure suddenly appeared. He was currently appearing alone. The two enchantresses could wait a bit. The priority was to comfort little medical immortal and the others first. Young Master Yun. Yao Shishir's face was full of pleasant surprise. She immediately pounced towards Lin Yun, accompanied by a fragrant breeze. Lin Yun directly caught her in his arms. Little medical immortal had a delicate and petite figure, but the places that should be fleshy were quite well endowed. Lin Yun directly held her and spun her around. Her bell-like laughter also brightened Lin Yun's mood. Yao Shishir hugged Lin Yun tightly, as if afraid he would leave in a moment. Lin Yun gently patted her back, stroking her silky long hair. Why do you have your hair up in a bun? It looks very good. Lin Yun suddenly cupped her small face and directly kissed her. Lin Yun hadn't tasted Little Medical Immortal in this style yet. Little Medical Immortal gently hit Lin Yun's chest, protesting, but Lin Yun didn't care that much. He only let go of the fragrant, sweet, soft, and glutinous Little Medical Immortal after more than 10 minutes. I miss you too, my treasure. Old Devil Lin said cheesy sweet nothings. How is everything at home these days? Lin Yun wrapped one arm around her slender waist and gently pinched her chin with the other hand, as if he would flirt with her at any moment if she said something wrong. Yao Shishir's face was red. Her eyes were full of love. Her red lips parted slightly. Everything is fine at home. Grandfather is still in the ancestral hall, and we are all waiting for you to return and take charge of the overall situation. There are also many distinguished guests, and people from White Jade Capital Holy Land have also arrived. They all want to meet you. Yao Shishir softly recounted the current situation. Lin Yun nodded gently. You've worked hard, my baby. Leave the rest to me. Lin Yun gently kissed her fair forehead, then reached out and pinched her flushed, cute earlobe. Only then did Lin Yun look at by Yao and Qin Xiao. The two little maids had long been unable to control their emotions. Lin Yun smiled and waved. The two little maids quickly ran over and pounced on him. Lin Yun hugged all three at once. It could be said that his luck with women was not shallow, making others envious. He gently patted the backs of the two little maids and stroked their little heads, looking at their obedient and well-behaved selves. Lin Yun also felt some happiness and joy. What more could a great man ask for in this life with such delicate women? Let's go back to the room. I've missed you all so much, Lin Yun suddenly said. Hearing this, the three women exchanged glances and all nodded shyly. Immediately, they buried their little heads in Lin Yun's chest. Su Yao and Yin Yue, hidden in the void realm, looked at each other. Watching this warm and harmonious scene, they both seemed to understand something. The status of this young miss of the Yao family was unshakable. Chapter 105. Several women meet and call each other sisters. Watching young Master Yun and their figures vanish on the spot, Su Yao and Yin Yu remained silent for a while. It seems their relationship is truly good, Yin Yu suddenly said. Yes, but it's nothing. We just need to do our own things. Su Yao, on the other hand, was quite open-minded. Will he only accept us because he wants us to protect the Yao family? Yin Yu hesitated for a moment but still spoke. Su Yao frowned. Why would you think that? Have you forgotten the affection he's shown you these past few days? Sometimes I even envy you. Lin Yun often saw the shadow of his senior sister Ling Shuangxue in Yin Yu. He missed his senior sister, junior sister, and master. So, Lin Yun was sometimes exceptionally doting towards her. Su Yao reached out and pinched Yin Yu's tender, fair cheek. You don't overthink it. When you take my place, you can then ascend and be together again. Moreover, immortal ascension, something we never dared to dream of before. Yin Yu became a little flustered. Sister, that's not what I meant. I just love him too much. Yin Yu used the word love. I'm afraid of losing him. For the Yao race, this was an incredibly unbelievable thing. Sister understands. How could sister not? The first Demon Emperor seems to have reached some agreement with young Master Yun. He seems to be getting more and more deeply involved with our Yao race. You can rest assured, junior sister. Young Master Yun won't bear to part with us. He won't abandon us. Haven't you noticed, young Master Yun is a particularly domineering man? How could he possibly let us fall into the embrace of others? Su Yao was still full of confidence regarding this. And with her nine-tailed celestial fox talent and charm, she didn't believe there was any man in this world who would be willing to abandon her. We've been so diligent on the road. How can he still have so much energy? Su Yao said, a little troubled. Yin Yu's face flushed. But as soon as Lin Yun saw the seventh miss of the Yao family, he became full of vigor again. The two women were also a little helpless. In Yao Shishir's boudoir, there was a harmonious and beautiful atmosphere. Indeed, a short separation makes the heart grow fonder. Meanwhile, outside, the entire Yao family suddenly fell into a bit of chaos. News of Yao family's son-in-law returning had spread. Many immortal venerable old ancestors took action. However, they were told that he and she were currently enjoying their intimate moments. These old ancestors, who had lived for thousands or tens of thousands of years, all had dark expressions. They naturally knew what good things were happening. So, they dared not disturb them even more. As the saying goes, A short separation makes the heart grow fonder. When dry wood and fierce fire meet, to disturb their enjoyment now would not just be a lack of understanding, but might even lead to being directly slapped to death. In the steaming bath, red petals floated. The white spirit water was like milk. The rippling clear water held a unique flavor in their hearts. Who knows how much time passed, until noon the next day. Only then did Lin Yun change into his robes, attended by little medical immortal. The group appeared in everyone's sight. Yao Shishir was dressed with an air of nobility. Although her face was still a bit youthful, no one dared to underestimate this newly appointed female clan chief. During this period, she had used iron-blooded methods to cleanse the various factions within the Yao family. Many immortal, venerable old ancestors were looking forward to an audience with Lin Yun. However, to their disappointment, Lin Yun first wanted to take little medical immortal and the others to meet Su Yao and Enyu. This was the real important matter. Everything else was minor. It wasn't that Lin Yun didn't give those immortal sex face. It was because they weren't worthy. In the courtyard, small bridges and flowing water created a scene like a paradise. Su Yao and Enyu were a bit nervous because Lin Yun had sent them a message. The elders wanted them to meet and get acquainted. After all, in the long years to come, they would be the most trustworthy sisters to each other. Seeing the figures suddenly appear not far away, both women instinctively stood up. Lin Yun walked in the center, at the front. Beside him were little medical immortal Yao Shishir, and a little behind were by Yao and Qing Xiao. A group of 4. Su Yao and Enyu both came forward to greet them in advance, without the slightest arrogance. Young Master Yun. The 2 women first curtsied and greeted Lin Yun. Their faces carried a spring-like glow, and the love in their bright, beautiful eyes could not be hidden. Upon seeing this, Yao Shishir immediately knew that these were also her sisters. She pursed her lips. Although she had anticipated it, when this scene truly unfolded, her heart still felt a little sad. Just then, Lin Yun suddenly held her small hand. He squeezed it gently. "Let me introduce you. This is my precious little medical immortal, Yao Shishir, the 7th Miss of the Yao family, now the clan chief of the Yao family, a proud daughter of heaven, and also the one I love." It was the first time Lin Yun had used so many words to describe a woman. This undoubtedly showed little medical immortal's position in his heart. The slight trace of grievance that had just appeared in Yao Shishir's heart instantly faded. Her heart was touched. Women are so easily appeased, especially in this world where the strong prey on the weak. These are her 2 little sisters who grew up with her. This is Bai Yao, and this is Qing Xiao. Lin Yun then pulled the 2 girls forward to introduce them. The other little girls were a bit surprised and nervous. They hadn't expected young Master Yun to still think of them. Because of their humble origins, they had always felt a bit inferior. So, they actually didn't like appearing in front of outsiders with young Master Yin. Lin Yun was aware of this. However, in the immortal realm, this worry should no longer exist. A new environment would suffice. These 2 little girls were dedicated to pleasing him, doing whatever he asked. They brought him extreme joy. Moreover, they were very respectful of the 7th Miss, Yao Shishir. They consistently treated little medical immortal as the mistress, the 7th Miss, and never made any inappropriate moves. Even in bed, the 7th Miss was the priority. Lin Yun was naturally very satisfied with them, and would not mistreat them. This stunningly beautiful elder sister is Tian Xiang, the Demon Emperor, the current spokesperson of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. Her name is Su Yao, and she's also my big treasure. You can just call her sister. This somewhat cold and alluring elder sister. You also know her, but let bygones be bygones. Her name is Enyu, and she is the next Demon Emperor of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. They will all be your most trustworthy allies in the Yao family in the future. Lin Yun had gone to great lengths for this moment. He was afraid that something might go wrong, and then he wouldn't feel at ease even after ascending to the immortal realm. But now, it seemed the situation was quite good. Lin Yun sat in the pavilion. Bai Yao and Qing Xiao, the 2 girls, served him by his side, massaging his shoulders and legs. Not far away, little medical immortal, Su Yao, and Enyu were together. They seemed to be discussing something about cooperation between the Yao family and the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. This could be finalized now to ensure the Yao family's eternal foundation. During this process, they would occasionally glance at Lin Yun, as if just seeing that man gave them their backbone. Chapter 106. Shock. Invitation from the Lord of the Holy Land. Is everything settled? Lin Yun looked at little medical immortal and Su Yao, the 2 women. It was actually quite simple. Yao Shishir lowered her head slightly, a little embarrassed. Compared to a great Yao like Su Yao, she still felt a bit naive. Fortunately, Su Yao didn't intend to make things difficult for her. She simply signed the agreement drafted by the Yao family. She even added some clauses that were beneficial to the Yao family. It could be said she was very thoughtful. A typical case of turning her elbow outwards. That's good. Then let's go meet those miscellaneous people outside. It was time to meet the most powerful forces in this world. If they were sensible, everyone would live in peace. If not, then he could only make them decent. Do we have to go too? Su Yao hesitated for a moment before asking. Why not? We should be open and above board. Lin Yun directly pulled Su Yao over, holding her small hand. Let's all go together. He then looked at Inu and said, he wanted everyone here to know that these were his women, so they should all be careful in the future. As for the saying that humans and Yao are destined to be separate, they could go to hell. When Lin Yun did things, why should he follow conventions? The two women both became a little happy. They had thought young Master Yin would be secretive. Immediately, a group of people headed towards the Yao family's main hall. With the arrival of Lin Yun and his party, all the elders of the immortal sects and noble families stood up in unison to greet him. Greetings, immortal venerable sir. As the saying goes, the accomplished come first. Although Lin Yun was not yet an immortal, he was considered a terrestrial immortal. In the lower realm, he was worthy of being called immortal venerable sir. Lin Yun nodded slightly. With the women, he walked directly to the main seat at the top. Then he sat down with a grand demeanor. Many immortal sect elders' eyes were somewhat fixated. That was actually the Tianxiang Yao Emperor. The woman next to her was a bit unfamiliar, but she was clearly also a great Yao. So, was the alliance between the Yao family and the 10,000 Demon Mountain range already a fact? Moreover, it seemed that the relationship between this venerable and these two peerless Yao women was not simple. What good fortune! The reputation of the Tianxiang Yao Emperor was well known in this world. Who knew how many sect masters of immortal sects had dreamt of her? This was not just about beauty. She also represented countless resources and immortal medicine of the 10,000 Demon Mountain range, and an innumerable army of Yao beasts. Her power was immense. Whoever won her heart could be said to ascend to heaven in one step. But now it seemed her heart had already been captured, and she had allied with the Yao family. Was she willingly taking a lesser position? Everyone looked at Lin Yun with different eyes. His skill in managing women was truly unparalleled in the world. Congratulations, immortal venerable sir, and may you ascend to immortality soon. The Grand Elder of the White Jade Capital Holy Land bowed again, with him taking the lead. Many immortal sect elders followed suit. Lin Yun's lips curved into a wicked smile. Are you hoping I leave soon, so you can suppress the Yao family? Lin Yun's words were somewhat blunt and insidious. The faces of many immortal sect old ancestors changed. Lin Yun scanned the room. A powerful pressure instantly suppressed the entire hall. The atmosphere immediately became solemn and dangerous. Everyone, what is your intention? Are you just here to pay respects to this venerable? Lin Yun was too lazy to beat around the bush with these old things. He wanted to speak frankly. After settling this, Lin Yun would begin his daily life of indulgence until he reached the limit of the Ascension realm, and then ascend to the immortal realm. Many immortal venerable old ancestors looked at each other. They didn't really know how to speak. It was natural for them to show their faces and pay respects to the big shot when they came this time. But they also had their own goals. That was to inquire about the true intentions of this big shot who appeared out of nowhere. Logically, given his realm, he could directly become ambitious and command the entire cultivation world. Simply put, unify the world. But in that case, it might lead to another catastrophe. The tragedy of the Azure Jade sect was still vivid in their minds. As one of the major sects, it was directly crippled. It would probably take thousands of years to recover its origin chi. Immortal venerable sir, this old man is from the White Jade Capital Holy Land. May I ask immortal venerable sir if he has any plans for the future? The Lord of the Holy Land asked me to invite immortal venerable sir. If it is convenient, would you be willing to come for a gathering? The White Jade Capital Holy Land was the leader of the immortal Tao in this world. The number of disciples was not large. It could even be said that talent was scarce, and it wasn't very famous. But it was undoubtedly the leader of the immortal Tao. This was because the Ascension platform was located within the White Jade capital. As the only Ascension platform in this world, it could greatly increase the chance of ascension and reduce the danger of undergoing tribulation. It was much better than finding a random place to undergo tribulation and ascend. Moreover, that mysterious lord of the Holy Land was rumored to also be an old monster in the Ascension realm. Every immortal Tao Grand Assembly, the disciples of the White Jade Capital would overpower all others and win the championship. This was to prove the name of the White Jade Capital as a holy land. So if Lin Yun went to the White Jade Capital and reached some agreement or understanding, the many immortal Tao sects would be relieved. They wouldn't be in constant fear and anxiety. Lin Yun smiled slightly. Why doesn't he come in person? Am I not worthy? He was not so easily invited. The elder of the white, jade capital's expression changed. This venerable was indeed a bit difficult to deal with. Please forgive me, immortal venerable sir. My holy lord is actually not convenient to leave the Holy Land. He bowed slightly and said, this was actually a well-known fact. The other party was actually the guardian of the Ascension platform, and also the guardian of this world. Even in the immortal realm, there were records of this. Naturally, he would not leave easily. Linyan nodded slightly. Then let's choose another day. Also, this venerable has no interest in unifying the world, nor do I have any thoughts about the broken things in your sex. All of you can relax. However, Linyan paused here. His gaze was somewhat chilling. He sharply scanned the many immortal sect old ancestors. If you dare to covet the Yao family's assets, don't blame me for being impolite. Even if I ascend, I will have a chance to come down. At that time, this venerable will slaughter your entire sect from top to bottom. Linyan threatened openly. The many immortal sect old ancestors were all startled. Judging by what this venerable did to the Azure Jade sect, he was clearly capable of such things. But threats alone were clearly not enough. So, this was the deterrent power of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range. My 10,000 Demon Mountain Range has officially allied with the Yao family, and from now on, we will advance and retreat together. Offending the Yao family is offending my 10,000 Demon Mountain Range, and from now on, it will be an endless war. Su Yao also stepped forward at this moment. Her aura was revealed. It seemed she was also in the Ascension realm. At this, everyone was terrified. Chapter 107. Conspiracy. Go and see the Ascension platform. Tianxiang Demon Empress. After being nourished by Linyan these past few days, Su Yao finally birthed her 9th tail. She has successfully touched the threshold of the Ascension realm. She's just one step away. She can be considered a half-step Ascension realm cultivator. With such a powerful cultivator protecting the Dao, coupled with the countless Yao race armies of the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range, the Yao family can rest easy. Many old ancestors of the immortal sects and noble families knew that the overall situation was settled. They currently only had one path to take. That was to unite around the Yao family. There were no other options. We respectfully heed the teachings of immortal Venerable Sir and Demon Empress. From now on, we will surely revere the Yao family. We dare not offend in the slightest. They simultaneously bowed their heads, clasped their fists, expressing their submission. Linyan nodded slightly. After Tianxiang Demon Empress displayed her power, she retreated back to Lin Yun's side. She now only wanted to be young Master Yun's little woman. Moreover, seeing those old ancestors of immortal sects and noble families, who usually looked down on their Yao race, now trembling with fear, she felt a surge of satisfaction. All of this was given to her by young Master Yun. Yao sure knew it was her turn to appear. As the saying goes, give a sweet date after a slap. The Yao family, as a medicinal pill refining noble family, and the future Yao Empress family could offer too many benefits. The interests it represented were also too vast. Seeing the new clan chief of the Yao family step to the front of the stage, they seemed to see countless immortal pills beckoning. Although Yao Sure did not have Su Yao's cultivation, she naturally possessed her unique charm and demeanor. The Yao family did not need to oppress the world. To subdue people with virtue was the Yao family's motto. Of course, if the other party was unreasonable, they also knew a bit of martial arts. Yao Sure looked at the expectant gazes of the many old ancestors of immortal sects and noble families below. Her voice was clear and melodious. From now on, the Yao family's medicinal pill output is expected to increase by more than 10 times. However, all of this is due to the support of Demon Empress sister Tianxiang. Therefore, the 10,000 Demon Mountain Range should be prioritized. Secondly, according to the alliance rank of the various immortal sects and noble families and the Yao family, supplies will be provided as needed at internal prices. The remaining medicinal pills and medicinal ingredients will all be sold externally by the Medicine King Pavilion. As for the alliance rank system, it will be announced shortly, so please remain calm. Yao Sure immediately began to preside. The maidservants distributed jade slips one by one. They contained various alliance clauses. They even required taking a heavenly Dao oath. These things were undoubtedly concocted by Lin Yun. The purpose was also very simple. That was to tie everyone to the Yao family's chariot. Everyone would prosper or suffer together. Lin Yun deeply understood one truth. Intimidation was only temporary. Among cultivators, those blinded by greed were not a few. Fear of death was normal. But to fear death even in the face of an opportunity meant one deserved to become white bones by the roadside. This was the simple value system of the entire cultivation world. Only common interests were eternal. Only then could the Yao family be guaranteed to prosper and stand firm after he left. to ensure little medical immortal's safety until she also ascends to the immortal realm, or until he came down to pick her up. Lin Yun's thoughts were truly thorough. Even in the worst-case scenario, the great demons of the 10,000 Demon Mountain range were not to be trifled with. Looking at the various clauses within, the expressions of many old ancestors of immortal sects and noble families changed repeatedly. Although they all seemed very harsh, the benefits within were also enormous. As the saying goes, the bigger the storm, the more expensive the fish. They had no reason to refuse. Once they refused this time, there would be no such opportunity next time. They would be directly excluded from this massive interest group. That would be a huge loss that even the White Jade Capital Holy Land could not bear. This was a blatant open scheme. If you don't join, there are plenty of others who will. Upon returning to our sect, we will immediately convene an elder council to discuss the signing of the contract. Although many elders of immortal sects and noble families did not directly agree, it was undoubtedly because they did not have the authority. This contract required the sect or family's luck as a great Tao imprint. This was a gamble of their lives and fortunes. No matter, but the time limit is within 10 days. After 10 days, the Yao family will close the alliance channel. Yao Shishir's voice made everyone's expressions change again. They had originally wanted to delay, for a while, to see the choices of other fellow Taoists. Now it seemed it might be too late. If the time ran out and their sect hadn't gotten on board, then they would be finished. Undoubtedly, these clever ideas were all Lin Yun's doing. Hunger marketing, simple and effective. Time is pressing. We shall return to our sect to report to Sect Master Supreme immediately. Many elders of immortal sects and noble families began to bid farewell. Some were far away. It would take 2 or 3 days on the road, leaving not much time. In less than a quarter of an hour, the bustling main hall became empty. Only the old ancestor of the White Jade Capital Holy Land remained. After just dealing with a group of old monsters, Yao Shishir's forehead was a little sweaty. Tired, aren't you? Lin Yun took out a handkerchief and gently wiped little medical immortal's forehead. This blatant display of affection was unbearable to watch. Tired but very happy. Our Yao family will finally not be bullied anymore. Yao Shishir was a little excited. She had fulfilled her grandfather's last wish. Her grandfather's spirit in heaven would also be happy, right? Silly girl. I like to see who dares. Lin Yun dotingly pinched little medical immortal's small face. It felt smooth and warm to the touch. Yao Shishir's face flushed. There was still a guest present, after all. Watching this scene, Su Yao and Inu felt a touch of sourness in their hearts. But this feeling was fleeting, because they knew that young Master Yin also truly loved them. I'm going out for a trip. It'll be quick, 1 or 2 days, or maybe 2 or 3 days if it's slow. Lin Yun stood up. He decided that there was no time like the present. He would visit the White Jade Capital Holy Land today. After that, these trivial matters would be completely over. Lin Yun also wanted to check out the Ascension platform. Back in the Tianyuan realm, that thing seemed to have been destroyed long ago. It turned out that this item could reduce the karmic obstruction on a cultivator's body and reduce the power of the heavenly tribulation. But with his chaos divine body, karma should not affect him. However, something was better than nothing. Since it existed, he could certainly give it a try. Perhaps he could even chat with that old monster. Maybe he would gain something unexpected. The other party might also have connections with the upper realm. He could inquire about the situation in the upper realm in advance. For example, if there were people waiting to search for someone, that would undoubtedly mean the Empress Ancestral Master was looking for him. If that were the case, Lin Yun would have to plan carefully. That would mean that the Immortal Realm's Ascension platform in this world was still within the Empress Ancestral Master's sphere of influence. Then he would be in danger. Lin Yun looked down at the White Jade Capital envoy. Let's go. This venerable will make a trip to your holy land. Lin Yun then bid farewell to the women. Be good. I'm just going out for a bit. I'll be back soon. Little medical immortal reluctantly tugged at Lin Yun's sleeve. You won't just ascend to the immortal realm and abandon us, will you? Little medical immortal's eyes welled up with tears, feeling a strange worry. Lin Yun was a little exasperated. How could I? Chapter 108. This bad guy scared the baby to death. Inside the hall. Now, everyone present was an insider. The people from White Jade Capital also consciously waited outside. Seeing little medical immortal's reluctant expression, Lin Yun felt a warmth in his heart. The other women all felt a sense of apprehension. Young Master Yin was in a White Jade Capital Holy Land. They were afraid he would just ascend and leave directly. Only little medical immortal was suitable for acting spoiled. Lin Yun cupped little medical immortal's face. He kissed her deeply. After a while, Yao Shishir was almost out of breath. She gently patted Lin Yun's chest. Lin Yun still didn't let her go. It was a good while again. Only then did Lin Yun spare her. Watching the scene from the side, Su Yao bit her lip. Her face flushed peach red. Her eyes were full of shyness. Lin Yun saw this beautiful sight. Immediately, he also became interested. Anyway, there was no rush. Then, let's indulge ourselves one more time. Lin Yun directly waved his hand and released a space restriction barrier. Outside, after waiting for a full 5 hours, it was almost dark. The envoy from White Jade Capital was also a bit helpless. He also felt a bit envious in his heart. This young man, his energy is really good. Moreover, they were all beauties of unparalleled charm. His luck with women was not shallow. He had originally thought it would end before dark. But this envoy didn't expect it. It was already the next morning. Daylight broke. It still hadn't ended. It wasn't until late morning. Lin Yun finally appeared before him, refreshed. He just had a slight ache in his lower back. Even his chaos divine body was almost unable to bear it. Let's go. You lead the way. Ignoring the other party's somewhat strange gaze, Lin Yun directly conjured escape light, and flew off. He didn't use the foul play space divine ability. That would be too frightening. Lin Yun used lightning evasion. Although this lightning evasion was also a bit beyond their scope, it was still within their understanding. The two transformed into streaks of light, vanishing in an instant. They disappeared into the horizon in a flash. Inner hall, little medical immortal was drenched in sweat. Her hair was completely wet. Her skin glowed with an alluring pink hue. She covered her delicate body with a thin blanket. Su Yao's eyes flickered with a certain inexplicable charm. Inu immediately felt a bit helpless. Just a moment ago, when young Master Yin was still here, everyone was getting along peacefully. It was just that Su Yao was occasionally a bit lively. But young Master Yin seemed to really like her like that. He was delighted. He became even happier. Lin Yin didn't know yet. His back garden was already in a mess. However, this was also good. Old Devil Lin was delighted. As long as nothing went wrong, it was all just a bit of fun anyway. Mid-journey, Lin Yun disliked the other party's slow speed. He directly asked for the coordinates. Transforming into a bolt of lightning, a clap of thunder echoed between heaven and earth, and he carried the other party away, disappearing without a trace in an instant. In a flash, they were already tens of thousands of miles away. Not long after, they seemed to have arrived in another world. This place was actually somewhat different from what Lin Yun had imagined. There were no famous mountains or great rivers, nor was it filled with immortal chi. Instead, it was somewhat desolate and quiet. It should be said that this was a wilderness. There wasn't a single tree, let alone birds. It seemed devoid of life. Lin Yun's gaze was somewhat peculiar. Your White Jade Capital Holy Land is in such a desolate place. Immortal Venerable Sir, please do not be offended. This place was caused by our predecessors undergoing tribulation for ascension. Lin Yun immediately understood in his heart. That explained it. Over countless years, there would always be prodigies who underwent tribulation for immortal ascension. After many times, it naturally turned this place into a barren land. So he directly opened up a secret realm. Immortal Venerable, please come this way. The two arrived together at a smooth, bare mountain peak. The White Jade Capital Envoy took out a jade token. He conjured a series of hand seals. In fact, as soon as he arrived, with Lin Yun's spatial law attainments, he had already discovered that there was a hidden wonder here. The spatial fluctuations here were very unique. Layers of ripples could be seen undulating in the void realm. It was as if a door to another world had opened. Immortal Venerable Sir, this is the entrance to our holy land. Lin Yun nodded slightly. Immediately, the two flew up in a tacit understanding. Taking a step, their figures disappeared into the spatial ripples. The familiar space law brushed past him. Lin Yun's eyes lit up. He had already arrived in a secret realm with beautiful mountains and clear waters. Everywhere were towering ancient trees. The spiritual chi was so dense it couldn't be dissolved. With Lin Yun's eyesight, he could even see numerous spirit beasts and immortal medicine below. He secretly nodded. Only a place like this deserved the name of a holy land. What was that barren land just now? Junior Marshal Uncle, you're back. Did you bring me anything good to eat? A small female cultivator in a white Taoist robe skipped over. That's right, she skipped. She had a bun hairstyle and looked somewhat cute. Her face was still a bit chubby. Lin Yun's gaze was somewhat peculiar. This little girl, her physique was very clear and transparent. Her cultivation had actually reached the heavenly elephant stage. Looking at her bones and appearance, her age was probably not great. She was probably also some special physique. The little girl was curiously sizing up Lin Yun. It was her first time seeing an outsider come to the Holy Land. So she was a bit curious. Xianyin, don't be mischievous. This is our most distinguished guest. The old man's expression changed. How did this girl run out? What if this esteemed guest took a liking to her? He now knew how debauched and immoral this esteemed guest was. If he really took a liking to this little girl, then it would truly be difficult to handle. However, this girl had a 7-aperture exquisite heart, most sensitive to people's hearts. She shouldn't like such an evil person, right? He felt a bit relieved in his heart again. Lin Yun looked at the little girl who seemed to be called Xianin. This little girl was quite cute. He wondered what it would feel like to pick her up and kiss her. A thought involuntarily popped into Lin Yun's mind, as expected of old Devil Lin. And Xianin also sized up Lin Yun from head to toe. She frowned. Then, in an instant, her face turned completely red. "You big bad guy." She immediately jumped back as if startled. Xianin had sensed Lin Yun's terrifying thought just now. This truly scared her. This bad person actually wanted to take liberties with her, and even wanted to do such bad things. She was scared to death. "Xianin, don't speak carelessly." The envoy's face also changed drastically in fear. These words couldn't be spoken carelessly. Moreover, why did it feel strange? The term big bad guy shouldn't be used. Lin Yun awkwardly rubbed his nose. He saw the other party's clear and pure big eyes watching him with full vigilance. Lin Yun seemed to understand something. This little girl could actually vaguely perceive the thoughts in others' hearts, especially those related to herself. Her perception was probably exceptionally strong. So Lin Yun felt a bit awkward. But with his thick skin, this was naturally nothing. No matter, Xianin, right? Your bones are good. Lin Yun put on the appearance of an otherworldly master. He sized up the little girl from head to toe. But Xianin clearly wasn't buying it. She crossed her arms over her chest, her eyes full of vigilance and disgust.